nyamperin aja udah slow nong boy, atau kita tahan-tahanan nih sama musuhnya nih, sama-sama nggak dapet angle?
Kayak gitu sih, balik lagi ke gameplay kita Swin, apakah kita agresif apa kita defensif ya. Dan tergantung senjata kita juga, andai kan kita kayak shotgun, bagusan kita nunggu.
Iya.
Karena kan kalau kita ngejar orang dan ternyata jaraknya agak jauh, shotgun kita nggak efektif. Gimana kita kayak juga dari seorang Vicky AMD, bener-bener persiapannya sih matang banget ya. Dia menggunakan pinggir tersebut, tapi kita lihat dari Benny Moza tampaknya juga langsung push ke arah. Iya, kita kayaknya dari Rochelle juga cukup low. Dia terkena damage di bagian dada juga kepalanya. Bahkan dari visornya pun di helm sudah pecah, retak.
Don't waste your breath. Shit.
The bastards came, guns blazing. And they expect us to bow down? This? What you're fighting for? Here's my answer. A bullet! I fight you tooth and nail! Are we gonna let them leave fully loaded? No! Let them come if they dare! And pay with their lives! Let them see our anger! Feel our pride! Show them who Komodo really belongs to! I will fight for her until the end.
This fool got fucked up real bad. Hey, boss. Check this out.
Let me see that.
Body's so warm. They might be close.
Nice optics.
So look, the other day in my YouTube chat, someone was like, "Oh, there's an epic that's better than the legendary, dude." And I was like, "Bro, no, there isn't." But they're like, "Yes, there is." So I was like, "All right, I'll go check it out." Where's this cool DR? Okay, this is kind of cool. What's up with the iron sights? Where are they?
Sniper!
Fuck is he?
Get down! Sniper, second floor.
Get that motherfucker.
Set! I'm out! Go, 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 go! Set! Fuck!
Oh shit, that was close.
Welcome to the Arena Breakout Triathlon event, where creators will be pitted against one another to see who will become the Arena Breakout Ironman. Players will engage in intense shootouts and looting with high stakes and high rewards. Survival is key, as escaping the combat area alive is the only path to victory. It's a game where shooting, looting, and strategic decision making are crucial for success. Get ready to break out! We've assembled top FPS pros and creators from across the globe to compete in 3 different challenges. Each challenge will take place on a different map, and the goal will be to get in, obtain the required amount of loot, and extract. Challengers will have unlimited attempts within a 30-minute time limit. Failure on any maps gets marked as the full 30 minutes. The lowest combined time across all challenges wins. Challenges will feature creators as participants, and they can choose to compete individually, bring along friends for assistance, or form teams with anyone. There are no restrictions on loadout value, but anything they bring will not count towards the map goal. The first challenge takes place on the farm. Creators must navigate through the heavily patrolled fields and gather 100k coin worth of loot before extracting. The next challenge is in the Valley Blockade. Will they choose to break into the villas to find large amounts of loot and enemies, or stay on the outskirts and play it safe? Either way, challengers must snap 200k coin before breaking out. The final challenge will be held in the Armory. Challengers must be sure to do their reconnaissance here in order to remain efficient and find the exit to this potential death trap. This time, 300k coin is needed before your final evac. Heads up, any form of cheating is strictly prohibited. Keep your eyes on the battlefield to make sure you don't miss a minute of the action. Arena Breakout will be available on iOS and Android, so pre-register now.
One sting to caster. Caster on.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Ice Cream. With me today is our homie Mod 6. We are going to be your guide to today's World FPS Triathlon event, official event for Arena Breakout's global launch day. How we doing, Mod?
I'm excited. I've been playing the game all morning. To middling success here, but let's talk a little bit about the rules for today's event. We're going to be playing these in 30-minute increments on 3 of the primary maps in Arena Breakout. We have 4 creators out there, competitors today, and it's the PC versus mobile crew. The first map is going to be Farm, where they have to extract with 100,000 coin. Ice, explain a little bit about how difficult it is to get that much loot and get off of this map, especially today on launch day.
Absolutely, man. And the fact that some of these guys, most of these guys don't actually play Arena Breakout day in, day out, that's going to make things really spicy, because right now, the time that they're actually playing, as of now, it's prime time. It is very hot in every map, so it's going to be incredibly hot in any of the maps that they're going to play in. But just a quick clarification on the rules, guys. What it is not the most loot value, it's not the most skills. What they're going to do is hit a certain amount of coin loot value and get out as fast as they can. So what they've got to do is grab 100k's worth of loot value and get out, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely key. So that first map's going to be Farm, and in order for that time to qualify, they have to get 100,000 coin off the map, and they have to do it as fast as possible, because in order to win today, they're going to go to Farm with 100,000 coin as a requirement, and then Valley with 200,000 coin, and then Armory with 300,000 coin. They have to get that loot value off the map, and their time in doing so on that qualifying game added up. The fastest time today will be the winner. So they've got to get that loot, and they've got to get to the extract. If they fail to extract on any of the games in any round, they'll be given 30 minutes as that time. Nobody wants a 30-minute game. They got to get in, get the loot, and get out.
Yep, absolutely. So basically what we have right now is for content creators like Lavinios, Noah Sunday, Choco Taco, and also Clean. And then next week we got the pro line. And then the week after that, we've got the founders week. So those are going to be people like myself, Sade, Fab, and also Imo. So those are the lineups that we've got within the next 3 weeks. Do you want to introduce, the first 2 people that's going to be playing today?
Yeah, we could talk about some of the creators today. See, and something that you mentioned earlier is that these guys have not had a ton of experience on the game. I mean, you and I have probably played this closed beta maybe more than anyone else at this point. And even that, that's only a couple of months, a few weeks of experience. And this is launch day. I've already been in the games. I've already been on the maps, and every single one has teams absolutely going at it. So this is a tough day to play. These guys are all coming from other games, or in some cases other platforms, with a little bit of experience in this game, ready to go on launch day. So they've got a serious challenge ahead of them. And this is an extraction shooter, a tactically realistic game. So they're going to have to take it slow initially. I don't think we're going to see any crazy battle royale style tactics in this one.
Or maybe we will. Who knows? Maybe Lavinio is gonna put on a bit of his PUBG. He's from PUBG, right? So he's definitely gonna put, because he's got that peaking mechanics.
And Lavinio,
down,
I mean, all right, so listen, this guy, he is a Swedish PUBG mobile player, 11 million subscribers, 13 total million following. That 11 million YouTube number is crazy.
Insane.
And he's the first PUBG mobile YouTuber to reach 1 billion views on the platform. Absolutely nuts.
Wow.
But we're going to get into some more details about all of these players here in a little bit. Right now, we want to talk about this code redemption that we have running throughout the day on the stream. All right, so they're going to be posting up some CD keys codes on the screen, and you're able to get into the game and redeem those codes for loot, for armor, for weapon bundles. So you're going to go to your main screen in Arena Breakout. On the right side of the screen, you will see the events button. That's that button with the star. You're going to click there, touch that button. On the far bottom tab on the left, you'll click that and touch that, and then touch that code redemption. Hit that go button and put in the code. There's a limited opportunity to use these codes. So as soon as you see the codes on the screen, get into the game and redeem that code for some serious loot value, some weapons, some armor. Get yourself a little bit ahead and make some progress through those missions in Arena Breakout today on launch day. And listen, there's a serious reason why we want you in this, putting these codes in, because the loot value in this, these are great guns. When you start in Arena Breakout, you start with a little bit, but this is a game where you have to be careful. You have to try and get that extraction to be successful, so that when you play each game, you're moving your account forward, right? You have to collect that loot. You have to build up a stock of weapons and armor so that you have the opportunity to be successful. And there's more technical maps where the competition is more tough on Armory. So today we should see our players move through Farm and then Valley and then to Armory. And we need to see their loot hopefully progress as we go, right? They've been playing, they know what they need to be wearing, so they're going to have some strong armor and weapons as they start, but we want to see them be successful, pull some serious weapons and armor off of these maps, because we might see some deaths and some failed extractions here as we go.
I think we're going to see a lot of those, to be honest. And like I always say to anyone that asks me, what is the best tip that you can give to someone? It's not about the items, it's the player. So you can have the best gear, but if someone has the best spot that sees you first, you will die before you can even see where the shots are coming from. So yes, the gears are going to be there, but definitely going to play with a bit more mindset towards smart playing, maybe a little bit passive. They can't just run and gun. This game is really not run and gun. I'm a run and gun type of player. So when I first started playing this game, I struggled a lot. I had to tell myself, dude, just slow down for a bit. Figure out where the loots are, where's the best angle to hold, where people are going to be holding angles. Take your time a little bit. Pay attention to what's happening, even when you die, especially when you die. Try and figure out how you died, and then go from there. These guys don't have that kind of luxury today. It is going to be one game after another.
So the time that they've got in terms of progression, they're going to have to learn on the job, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They're gonna have to balance the need to get a quick time on the map with the tactics and the danger and the risk in these games on these maps. So let's get into some of the background on some of these players that we have here. Now, first, Lavinho, like I was mentioning earlier, Swedish PUBG Mobile player with 13 million total following. He's the first PUBG Mobile YouTuber to reach 1 billion views on the platform back in 2020, and this guy played a PUBG stream with Paulo Dybala, the absolutely world famous soccer player. So Lavinho, it's exciting to have him on the stream today, and I'm interested in seeing how he transitions from aggressive PUBG Mobile tactics to this extraction shooter where he's going to have to slow down in some cases and be careful in order to be successful and get off the map. And then we have Noah Sunday. These are our two mobile players, formerly Noah from YouTube. You all know him and we all love him. He is an American YouTuber, and he plays not only mobile games, but PC games, VR games. Guy's got like 27 YouTube channels, and every one of them is entertaining. And he's got the two doggos, Groot and Scooby, who join us on the stream on a regular basis. These two mobile players, I'm going to try and not be biased towards the mobile players because that's where I'm coming from as well. But I know Noah's played a little bit of this game in the closed beta. I'm going to see if he's going to take those tactics forward, a little bit of that experience. And then Lavinho, PUBG Mobile at the highest level. I'm excited to see how the mobile players do here today.
Yeah, so there's actually been a little bit of confusion when people started reading PC versus mobile. People started asking, what? Arena Breakout is on PC? There's just no way. We got to clear something up, guys. So the players are from the PC platform. The game is actually not, the players are not going to be playing on emulators. They're going to be playing on mobile devices. So we've got someone like Choco Taco, whose name is completely unrelated to the ice cream, by the way. He's with TSM right now, and he fell in love with PUBG back in 2017. Now, he's going to be playing from PC onto a mobile device. Now, that transition in itself, the mechanical physical transition, is going to be insanely hard to just do just like that, right? So he's someone who's got a lot of experience with PUBG. I believe he plays Diablo 4 as well. So he's a bit of a variety, because those are two completely different games. So it's going to be interesting to see how these PC players will transition into mobile. And then we've got Clean as well, who is another Twitch streamer. But for him, he plays a lot of Tarkov. So he's actually one of the pioneers, I guess, one of the OGs of Tarkov. So again, going to be very interesting to see how Clean transitions from PC to mobile. But he does have a bit of an advantage because he is a Tarkov through and through player. And, you know, he knows the mechanics of popping a painkiller, that kind of thing. And broken bones and peaks and stuff like that. So what I want to find out is how quick these guys are going to go from PC mechanical gameplay to mobile.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the big question here today with the players that we have are these mobile BR players who are used to super fast, especially mobile multiplayer. Like Noah has tons and tons of time on COD Mobile and multiplayer. He's known for dropping nukes. These are all very fast-paced games. So the challenge for our players coming from mobile will not be necessarily the mechanics, but absolutely the pace of play. And then we have Clean and Choco Taco coming from PC. They may be a little bit more familiar, especially Clean, with the pace of play, given his Tarkov experience. This dude loves to shoot guns in real life as well. He understands the details and the mechanics of how this stuff in a realistic game works. But it's that mechanical transition from mouse and keyboard or controller to holding the phone or the tablet in their hands. That difference to going fingers on glass to play this game may be a difficult transition.
You know what, though? We've actually got Choco Taco coming up right now. Why don't we ask him the questions?
Let's hear about it.
Let's hear about it.
Hey, what's up,
Choco
guys?
Taco, what's going on, man?
Oh, not much. Just my confidence at an all-time low here, man. Holy heck.
We were just talking about this I am
Gosh,
interested.
I was
How
already
many
worried.
hours do you think you have playing mobile games with your fingers on the screen?
Probably more than you think, because I've done a lot of mobile stuff in the past. I mean, I'm not typically a mobile gamer, as you guys talked about, but I mean, I've done some other games, some PUBG Mobile, some New State, some other games here and there. So I was feeling okay, but then you guys start talking about how good these mobile guys are. And now I'm not feeling too confident.
Hey, this is all about decision making, man. All about decision making. So
I was gonna say,
yeah. I mean, how do you think? What are some of the transitions you think you got to make when going from like traditional BR to an extraction shooter? You know, I'm sure you've got that exposure, but what's some of the difference in play style for you?
Yeah, I just need to not run at everyone and try to kill everyone. So since I know I'm at a disadvantage here, I'm gonna make sure I try to play kind of passive, and I'm just gonna try to hit some loot spots, play a little safer, which isn't my normal play style, but these mobile players are insane. So, and hopefully I mean, we're queuing up at the same time too, so I might run into some, into some of these guys in game, which will be bad. Yeah. I'm just gonna try to loot.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really a PvP type of event, right? It's more about the loot, get out quick as fast as you can. So this is where you might have an actual advantage over the mobile guys, because these guys are heavily faster-paced BR games, whereas you have that discipline, you have the patience. And that, when I transitioned from Apex into Arena Breakout, I really struggled with that, because I'm a very aggressive player, so I like to just run and gun. Now you might just have that advantage over them, which might tip it for you, might just tip it for you. What I want to know though is, how have you transitioned from keyboard and mouse to mobile in terms of, like, you know, have you gone straight into claw? Are you going to stick with just thumbs? What are you doing on that front?
I'm all thumbs, and you'd believe it or not, I did have thumb sleeves, but I can't find them. I ran out because I used them all. So I'm just all thumbs today. Skin on glass action. And I mean, my aim's not good, but like you said, you know, if I play smart and avoid fights, I won't have to do a whole lot of aiming, and can just focus on looting and extracting and kind of doing a tactical kind of playthrough. So that's my plan.
All right. So for a last question here, I gotta know what weapon are you going into the first game with? What's your primary weapon here?
Ooh, good question.
First game, I'm going in with the AKM, the juiced out one.
AKM.
The drum mag.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a lot of AKM and M4 from the players on these first maps. Well, hey man, good luck out there.
Good luck, man.
It's launch day, sweaty lobbies, crazy maps, and we're excited to see it. Let's see how it goes.
All right. Amazing. Thank you guys.
Thanks for hopping on with us. All right. Then. Hey, I think he's got the right perspective. He says he's going to get in there, get the loot, get to the extraction point. Choco Taco might have his eye on the prize here with his tactics going into these first games.
Which is what I was talking about earlier, right? It's these guys already have that background in the actual game, so they don't really need to be cracked. They just need to know what to do and avoid the fights, which is pretty much probably what it does a lot of the time in the type of games that they play. So I'm very keen to find out. What I want to see though is how they react in situations where he's getting pushed and he's on a completely different device. That's the thing that I really want to. Right,
those clutch moment situations, and there are the codes on the screen, folks. If you see those codes, get into the game, go to your events button and redeem those codes. You see them below us now on the screen. But yeah, I think that's going to be that situation. I swear, in those clutch moments, in those millisecond reactions, that's where the mechanics are going to come into play. And so I think what's key, and really this is key for everyone, is don't put yourself in those situations. Right?
Exactly.
Play tactically.
Exactly.
You know, set up your gunfights, take long-range gunfights with the element of surprise whenever you can. I mean, these are basic offensive principles in real life, is attack with overwhelming force, right? Gain the element of surprise, gain momentum, and keep momentum. and that's going to really come into play today. And I think if these guys can avoid those, getting shot in the back, millisecond reaction kind of situations, they may completely overcome that mechanical disadvantage. And it's tactics and decisions that are going to make the day here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And like I said, we haven't really spoken to Clean at all, but he knows the drill. If he because in Tarkov it's very much driven with tasks. So the tasks in Tarkov are actually quite good to do, and they do offer good rewards, and some of them are fun. So these guys get given tasks all day, and they actually focus on that. So they have a task today. Clean has a task today. He knows what he needs to do. And I think all Choco, Taco, and Clean needs to do to stand a chance against the native mobile players, so to speak, is just focus on the task, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the big thing from, if I could say one of the tactics that you could bring from PUBG or PUBG Mobile over to this is that focus on mid to long range engagements that you see in those other games. A lot of battle royale games, Apex, notorious for this, are the exciting inside the room close up fights. Well, there's a lot of fights in PUBG and PUBG Mobile where those fights are at mid to long range distance. And I think if players today in Arena Breakout can set up their fights from mid to long range and surprise some people, put them into some difficulty before they assault and push through an objective area, they'll be a lot more successful. So we'll see what these players do. It's launch day. The games are absolutely hectic. I've lost hundreds of thousands of coin worth of gear already on day one. And I might have had to take a walk earlier. 2 losses in a row, and I had to take a minute and clear my head.
No way. Well, look, those are rookie numbers, man. You said hundreds of thousands. What do you think in total you lost today?
I think we're at just under 1 million coin lost in loot from deaths.
Ooh, damn.
It's tough.
I'm quite embarrassed to say, but I think I'm pretty sure I've lost 1.5 mil today.
Well, listen, if you're playing on launch day, there's people like me and Ice that are out there donating level 5 and level 6 gear on farm right now.
No, but that's the thing. But that's your thing. Yeah, but the thing is, we were playing in Armory all day because we got the returner rewards, and my account was already leveled up, and we're Armory addicts. That's all we play. That's where all the actions is.
Oh yeah.
I haven't really played for 2 weeks, because I've been busy making content and stuff and traveling and whatnot. So I just wanted to jump back in the game, get my mechanics and practice down again, and jumping back into the game, my sensitivity is naturally high. So I just couldn't control my shots. I couldn't control my flicks, my movement. So I was like, you know what? We're just going to waste a lot of money and just look for gunfights. Just gunfights, every gunfights. Put yourself in that situation. And exactly. And get my muscle memory back. And 1.5 mil later, we're getting there. I'd say we're
feeling
about
warmed
60%. Up. Yeah, feeling warmed up.
A little light on gear, but feeling warmed up. Yeah, for the people that are just jumping into the game here on launch day, remember the only opportunity that there's been to play the game up to this point is the closed beta in 2 iterations, and then a little bit of pre-launch. So none of the players carry over any of their loot from those betas, but there are returner rewards and some of those founder rewards. So if you see some people that are looking a little heavy on gear, don't get too discouraged. Those are likely some people pulling some bundles out of there, and the catch-up period is only a couple of days. And so keeping that deliberate mindset, making sure you're confident and not running out into open areas, understanding the areas, avenues of approach where people could be coming up behind you, and areas where you could get shot from. You pay attention to all those details. This is an attention to detail game, and I think that's the thing that's making people successful.
Absolutely. And it's just like, I know there's going to be, it's launch day, like Modsec said, and everyone knows it's launch day. There's going to be a lot of players, and if you're one of those, or if you're someone who's struggling with a game, take a different approach. So like I said earlier, I came from Apex, so everything was just wall bouncing, 360 no scope, flying around, hopping around, getting pulled in with grapples and whatnot. So I had to adjust. So the first week or 2, I was like, I'm just going to rush everything, and I'm going to be fine. I had to learn the hard way. I burned 3 or 4 accounts. I went broke 4 times in like 2 weeks. It's just, you have to just take it slow. You have to take everything slow and learn from your mistakes.
I found that's exactly right, and I found the best way. I developed a practice method in this game to like limit the amount of gear you lose that you risk while getting in the most number of gunfights possible. And what we started doing is level 4 only gear, right? Level 4 only max, right? Keep that value low that you bring onto the map. Maybe use an AKM instead of a perfectly built M4, right? Like try and limit that gun expense, and then just get reps in. Just get reps in. Farm Blockade, the more difficult, more competitive farm map, is a great one to get those reps in. But start on those lower level maps and work your way up to Armory, and you can get some great games in on Armory, only risking level 4 armor. And when you do get the extract, you're pulling 500,000 coin off of the map. So that was my tactic throughout the entire beta, and that worked well for me. And I think we're gonna have to repeat that this week, because those games are competitive, and losing 500,000 in gear, that'll hurt you.
That's exactly what I said on my stream today, and I put that in my guides too. You know, as a beginner, as someone who's struggling, don't bring your best gear. It's not the items, it's the player. If you don't have the foundations of mechanical gameplay, when you don't know the map, you don't know where people are going to be hiding from, your gear means nothing. It absolutely means nothing. So once you start to understand the map, when you get pushed, you know where to run. That's when you need to start bringing in the better gear, because better gear will let you enable things. It doesn't protect you. It doesn't make you become invincible. It just allows you to do more things. It offers a little bit more room for error.
Yeah, and we see in the chat, everybody wants to get into the games. So we are going to make a transition here and see if we can get into some of these games and see these players make their attempts on our first map at Farm. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens. And we may see some early deaths, or we may see some glorious victories. So let's see.
All right, let's go.
Shots like that. That's not me. That's other players. Freaking out.
We've assembled top
Basically
FPS
full.
pros and creators from across the globe.
Let them fight, and I'm just
3 different challenges.
Pick up some stuff. SKS. I'm not gonna pick up the armor because it's big and not worth a lot of money. Ooh, what is this?
Here with Choco Taco, you see him. He's already downed one of the AI players. We don't see dog tags there. That's how you can tell the difference between the players on the map, whether it's a real player or an AI. And we also see the perspective of Clean potentially in a gunfight here. He sees those footsteps.
No. I'm so bad.
Oh, is he gonna?
Choco goes down early.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That wall, that broken wall.
He stuck that for way too long, but hey, I don't think he had a choice. It was either fight or just get gunned down behind, right? He had no choice. But we got Lavino's team.
Sanho on Lavino's team here, some familiar names, and with Sade as well. He's organized the team, and they're pretty well coordinated here in one of the main areas, one of the hot areas on Farm.
Let me check here.
Yep. This is a stacked team.
Come on.
So we have Sade, who is one of the OGs of Arena Breakout. Him and Trashy are basically like the godfathers of Arena Breakout. These guys are absolutely cracking. Sono's no joke either, and this team is good. They've got a really good chance of winning this. So so they actually bought all the keys as well. They've got all the keys already on day one. Or all these locked rooms.
Oh, these
Did they find anything nice in here?
Yeah, it's bad. Take it, though. Take it. You should take it.
Yeah, I took it.
Yeah, they're going through every single opportunity in this main building to loot every single safe, every weapons case. They're going to pick up all of these valuable items. The safes are where you'll find the higher percentage for cash, higher percentage for valuable items. And now we see Noah's team here.
How good though.
Are they in the same building? I'm interested to see if we see some of these players, some of these teams in the same lobbies.
This is on the east side of the map. Motel is almost bang on in the middle. It's pretty much the middle. It's the epicenter of the map. But
He kind of got a god
T6. Oh, he's running MP5s. Oh, this is this is very interesting. He's running a super close range gun.
All right, well, I got the
bullets. So dum bullets, guys, if you didn't know, these are special level 0 bullets,
like
T0 bullets that does a lot of damage on exposed body parts. So these won't do any damage on vest. They won't penetrate vest. They'll basically just tickle enemies if they shoot him in the vest. But you can literally kill any players wearing the best armor in the game with an MP5 in 1 second if you shoot their legs or just arms. So what I think Noah's going to be doing here playstyle wise is he's going to be the CQB guy. He's going to be the rusher, maybe the entry fragger or the flanker, which is going to make things interesting because he will need to have that confidence to run an MP5, which is
a lot of trouble here. As we jump over to Levino's team, you see Levino, Sade, Sanho, and Trashy are rushing across these open areas under fire. And Levino is keeping himself up. We've seen him stop. We've seen him pop painkillers. And they're in this open area, but they're moving very, very quickly. And as they run and gun, I mean, you see these guys moving pretty quickly. This is almost a BR level speed as they rotate across the map. But what you don't realize, or what many people might not realize, is that these players have so many reps on these games. I mean, Trashy, Sanho has BR championships under his belt. They have so many reps that they've worked out their mechanics. And you don't necessarily see all of the little things that they're doing. You see as they rotate around, Sade and Levino both have excellent cover, and they've got a player out in front, Trashy, who's drawing fire. And so these tactics, as they move through here, are well practiced. And I think we see a player go down. I think Trashy may have bitten the dust there.
Be engaging in this.
Let's listen to their the team comms.
Yeah, I think we've got Noah on his team comms here.
I think I killed him. If not, he's one. I naded over you.
Oh, I'm taking this guy's gun for sure.
There's 2 more.
25k.
Yep. Squad. Yeah.
The one inside this building.
So after each game, I have to screenshot and send it to them. So if you can just remind me after each time.
I can do that as well.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Oh, where are you? You go outside?
Yeah, outside.
Oh.
Let's go to the extraction.
You scared me. I thought it was a real player.
No,
another player.
My bad.
No, it's
my bad.
So we are going to... Okay.
Okay, so I think... Are they heading for the extract now? I believe they're heading for the extract now.
10 minutes?
Yes, they are.
Yep. And I was incorrect. I saw Trashy under a lot of fire there, but he stayed up, and the team is hitting the extract as we speak. And if we look, we'll see the timer as soon as they extract here after the 10-second countdown. Oh, is Levino in the barbed wire? He might die in the barbed wire.
He is. He ran into it.
Choco Taco with 2 quick headshots there as he is also moving towards an extraction point. So we've got our first teams extracting. Choco Taco's back in a game though.
Escaping.
He seems very comfortable with his movement on that mobile. So like he said earlier, he's played a few mobile games before, so it didn't look like he was lost there. He was doing the flicks right, he was doing the turns right. So like look at this.
It looks like Levino may have had an operation failed.
Oh really?
That barbed wire may have killed him.
Yes, because as soon as he proned, I saw that there was at least 1 bleed that was applied, maybe even 2. Who knows?
It's fine. I don't think that.
I guess we can check back on that later.
Yeah, we'll see what happens because someone in his team extracted, so they may get the team extraction credit there because they did have teammates extract with loot. And so we'll see what the final answer is there if Levino did in fact die on the extract. But a death in the barbed wire at the extraction point after a successful game would be a tough lesson to learn. Choco Taco trying to get the hip fire in.
You know what? I actually I'm a big fan of this AKM build. So I made a video about this particular bundle build in CBT3. and it's very easy to control. High caliber bullets, so it deals quite a lot of damage. You could literally, there you go. It's literally just a few taps. It's such a reliable gun to use, and the fact that you can buy them from the market as a whole bundle weapon build for 27k, dude. You can just dump all your money on T5 bullets. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
that's exactly what
that's
I'm
one of the best things to do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's that level 4 rep weapon when you're just trying to get the reps in, trying not to risk too much. That AKM is a great weapon for that. Go watch Ice's video, get that loadout, put your level 4 armor and helmet on, and get those reps in. We're here at Noah. On Noah's team, we got another one of the OGs with Arena Breakout and some names that would be impossible to miss in the mobile scene with Godsley on the team and my man Monarch on this team here. Monarch is a legend as well in the early closed beta of Arena Breakout. So we've got some major mobile players here, and we're gonna see some breakout values. We've got a player
they're
down.
in a fight. They're in a squad fight right now. Okay, so who is this that's knocked down right now? It's Sniperbot, right? Sniperbot is currently knocked down. They're gonna need to. Oh, this is a very tough spot to be in. But luckily, there is a fence right in front of them, and they are going to have to rotate all the way to the left towards Motel if they actually want to get this flank. So they're going to be able to stick this revive. And
I think you killed him.
What is Godsley doing with Monarch right now? Applying pressure and maybe taking him down right now. This is
absolutely
the type
that's
of teamwork that you
play
want.
those tactics this way. Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, he's trying to get the revive in the middle of the street. Unfortunately, in many situations, you have to get the revive in a tough spot because the player crawl speed is so slow and realistic in this game. Choco Taco still in a fight in the middle of the map, but we saw awesome tactics there from Team Noah with 2 players pushing and applying pressure while Noah stayed and got the revive, and that pressure from the other 2 players gave them enough space to get it done. We see Choco Taco here getting some loot in and having a little bit of success in the middle of the map. And Levinho back in the game. And it looks like they're on farm
Team
again. They're
Levinho are now rushing into Motel. Yep.
Real players.
Yep. It looks like the tactic they're taking is rush Motel, get the loot, and get out as fast as possible.
Yep. It's a good tactic when you have solid players with you. It really is. It's definitely one of the best spots, if not the best spots in farm. I would say the best spot for looting, but it's going to be a hot zone, so risk versus reward element is going to be there. But if you have the skill to back it up, definitely rush Motel every single run for higher loot value. Lavinia thought that plant was a player, which is funny. But this is the another thing, guys. So, oh, nice hip fire. I believe that was a player. Yep, I believe that was a player, or it could be AI player. I'm not too sure. But the other thing that these people have to do is that they have to manually count their loot as they're playing. So there's no calculator that tells you how much loot value you already have. So these guys will literally need to pick things up and calculate everything. Okay, do I have 100k yet? Yes, let's extract. So that's another element that the less experienced, the less Arena Breakout experienced players are going to have, I guess, a bit of a problem dealing with.
So I could try to extract.
Yeah, absolutely. This game really focuses on realism, and so you just generally do not see a ton of extra, digital input other than the map with your key points of interest. And we see Team Noah here with a successful extraction. We're going to take a look at what his fastest time is, what the time on this is, and take a look at whether or not he has that loot value. Loot value is 141,000, so Noah has a valid extraction on the board. That plus potentially Levinho's first extraction, if it was successful, maybe our only 2 successful extractions with over 100k. We're going to see the score pop up as we continue through the event on the bottom of the screen, so you'll be able to see some of the running numbers on who has the fastest extraction times for our first iteration here in the first 30 minutes on farm. Choco Taco is spending a lot of time in the middle of the map. You see those footsteps indicators close to him, and this is one of our first times over with Clean in a gunfight, and Clean goes down. Clean goes down in the middle of the map with his teammates still stuck in that gunfight.
What is that in-game name? There's no way.
And we're absolutely seeing some early deaths.
Ooh, that fits in there.
this is the thing that's gonna hinder people that don't play Arena Breakout a lot. Yes, you can have the mechanical skills. Yes, you can also have the patience and the discipline to play slower paced games. But if you don't know where to find the loot, that's gonna be a big problem in loot-based games.
This is, I love it because I can sell it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's where the biggest advantage, if you've played the beta before this, if you've been playing on the closed beta, obviously there are game updates in the global version. There are improvements. There are adjustments to loot locations. But you have an idea where those safes are. You've been to those safes before. And we see a cheetah statue for Levinho. He is absolutely over the loot requirement. And now it's going to be an absolute sprint to the extract. He's in this game. He just got back into this game a couple of minutes ago. And if they can move, move like the wind, run like the wind, baby, get to that extraction point, look for that red smoke, and we may see a fast time from Levinho's team. Choco Taco cannot get a quiet game. He is in a gunfight at the extraction point, but he has to wait until 10 minutes after the game start. That some of these extraction points have that time requirement on them, and we already have a sub 10-minute game for one of our teams here. So those 10-minute extraction points will not work to win this farm iteration.
And also, some of these extraction zones do have a rule set in which that particular one that Choco Taco went to, he cannot extract out of that unless he is not wearing a backpack, which is counterproductive to what he's trying to do in this event. So he will need to drop and leave his backpack to actually use that particular extract.
Yeah, and really the only way to be successful on those no backpack extracts when loot is a focus is if you have a couple of small high value items. So, you get that golden lion, and listen, I've got one of the golden lions, IRL golden lion, sitting on my desk right now. It is a beautiful piece of loot. You get that golden lion, you can drop the backpack and extract and have over 100K in value. But without those super high dollar items with really small storage space, you just have to get one of the exterior extraction points and make it all the way there.
But I feel like this is over 100K. Maybe even his teammates have other loot that they can pass on to him. So they should have gone for extract when they first switched to Levinho, because it looked like he actually had enough loot value. But they know what they're doing. I'm pretty sure they know what they're doing. And look how organized they are. Single file.
Let's go.
Solid comms.
Space
one pushes.
The
follows. Really, really good teamwork right here.
Just if you make it.
Yeah, and you see how trashy out front. They leave enough space so that if a grenade hits the front man and he goes down in one shot, they've got 3 people on the team. And Levinho's the one who's got to get out of these games with the loot on him. And you notice he is moving at the back of the group. It's clear this team has rehearsed their tactics. They're making deliberate decisions with how they rotate across the map, but they're still moving quickly. And so the key here is you got to have those tactics in line first before the speed ever gets there. So when we see these teams absolutely bombing across the map and moving this quickly, it's because they've got the reps in and they know where to look. They're familiar with the maps. They know where the threats come from. And that level of familiarization is the only thing that is allowing them to move this quickly across the map. They are absolutely sprinting for that extraction point. You see the red smoke off in the distance. That smoke is the way home. And if they can get there really, really quickly here, we may see a competitive extract for Team Noah.
Yeah.
Levinho is going to try and push.
I don't know. I don't know if people have actually noticed, but the level of planning that this team has gone through, it doesn't really show on the stream right now. But if you want to maybe rewind, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds back, Trashy is giving orders through chat. Through the actual in-game chat, and Levinho was placed that chat box right in the middle of his screen. So this is the sort of communication level that they've actually worked up to, which is absolutely impressive, because Trashy doesn't use mic. This is the type of player that he is. So, I mean,
and we have a successful extraction there with a time under 9 minutes.
And let's see how much I extract
for Levinho's team. And so we got an 846 for Levinho. That is a fast game. Definitely met the loot requirements. We're going to see if Choco Taco met his loot requirements here. He got out in 1146 or so, I believe. So he's on the board. He's not going to drop a 30. Oh, and he doesn't get the loot value. 37,000 in loot value. His first successful extraction, but this one won't count.
All right, guys.
And this is what I was talking about, dude. It's counting, it's adding up the loot value that you've picked up. You need to know the market, the item prices on the top of your head to give you the most efficient and fastest runs. And just like we saw there, he looted a lot, but because he couldn't calculate properly, that wasn't a valid run.
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, we see some questions in the chat about where these guys are playing. These are open lobby games, and so they're playing against all of these players on launch day, and so that is why they are running into some crazy gunfights. Is there are a ton of players online right now, and this is the exact same gaming environment you can expect if you get into the game right now. Heck, you might even see some of these players out there. So now, granted, they're also on a delay. The stream snipe is impossible, so don't even think about that. Plus, these guys are the best in the game, baby. So you're just going to be handing them loot. But listen, these games are absolutely crazy right now. And we see Team Noah, again, moving through these buildings. They've got all these windows covered. He's taking a look at Godsley there. A little flag your buddy problem. But they're moving through the basement, and we see him, Godsley, leading the way into these rooms ahead of Noah, giving Noah the chance to react. They're basically playing a little bit of protect the president here as Noah gets the loot and they start to move out of this building section.
Absolutely. So very, very similar game tactics. So like I said, you got to know your task. And once you have your task, you need to focus on it. You got to devise the correct plan, the correct team play, the correct way to communicate. And that's how you're going to get your efficient and fast runs. I'm guessing that Monarch is taking the lead here, I believe. It's going to have to be Monarch, right?
Yeah, I would expect so. I've probably got 30, 40, 50 games in with Monarch in this game in the closed beta. And Monarch's play style in this game is very, very aggressive, push style, but he remarkably just has that intuitive feeling for where the threat is. He's always got those areas where the threat could come from covered. And so he's got incredibly fast reaction time to threats in these games. He's a great guy to have out front. And it's clear that Team Noah has also rehearsed quite a few of these tactics for how they're going to be rotating. You see these guys pushing up, Godsley and Monarch pushing ahead of Noah to clear areas, make sure there aren't any immediate threats, and continue that rotation across the map to get that loot and get to the extraction point.
So how does what we're watching right now, and also from the previous team, how does this compare to real life situations?
So this is a question that I probably get asked the most on my stream, that and ridiculous questions about my bald head, but we'll skip those. And so my background is that I was an infantry officer for 10 years. I have 3 combat deployments, and many of the environments that I was deployed to have terrain somewhat similar to some of these maps. And so there are some direct relationships to be made. And the real advantage of having that experience, or the real direct comparison, is in the planning, in the risk mitigation, right? Like, what are you bringing on these missions? How long are you going to be on the map? How many energy drinks or water bottles do you need to bring? If you need to go to certain loot areas, planning ahead of time to bring the right keys, the right supplies. So that planning mindset and that prep mindset is required in this game, and it's a key and essential thing in a real military or tactical environment. And then the other thing, obviously, the realism of bullets in the magazines, all of those little details are super, super accurate. And what that does is that kind of forces planning actions and actions in game and in gunfights that are very, very similar to the thought processes you have in a real gunfight. And that's why I love these tactically realistic games, is because, you know, that was my career and it gives me some little advantages. We see Clean picking up some fights with some of the AI here, sneaking up right behind him. He's going for a close kill. Is he going to try and knife him? Or is, he might be playing covert.
I think he's playing the scam. Yeah, he's playing covert. Yeah, he's definitely playing covert.
An important dynamic to remember in this game is when you go in on covert ops, you're not risking any gear. You get issued some gear. And Clean is clearly demonstrating that the other AI on the map will not recognize you as being problematic, and you can sneak up on them. But the moment you engage, as Clean just did, the rest of his homies around him will activate, and you may be in some trouble. And so that interaction with the AI there, the guards on the map, if you go in as covert ops, a little bit more, you got a different threat to assess because you're only looking for those other players, the TAC op player. Yeah, but we got Ice Stream and I am Mod 6 here casting. We see some people in the chat asking a few questions. Now, the key thing, a couple of people are asking about that interaction that Clean just had with the AI. When you're a covert ops player, the AI does not activate on you. We have guards in all of these areas. You can see Choco Taco engaging some of those guards. And so all of the areas on this map have guards and then additionally there are TAC ops players on the map. And so you have to deal with different threats, some that you know will be there already and some covert ops players on the map. So hopefully that answers some of the questions in the chat that we see. And yeah, those covert ops, it presents an advantage in that you may not have the AI react to you on the map, the guards in these built up areas, but you go in with that random assortment of lower level gear. So it comes with some advantages and disadvantages, the decisions these players are making here. And we see Choco Taco seemingly continually in gunfights. So yeah,
I'm gonna try to like avoid.
But yeah, they get into that covert ops game mode, and the way that game mode works is that you basically get for free some level 1, 2, or 3 gear and weapons, and some lower level ammo, and that's an opportunity if you've completely gone broke in this game to continue to get into the game, continue to chase down that loot, and come off the map with potentially enough loot to refinance another tactical ops version of the game.
Guys, by the way, who do you think is gonna win this week? So we have Team Lavinio, we got Team Noah, Choco Taco, and Clean. Leave your answers in the comment section below, and also don't forget to drop your Instagram. Yeah, drop it in the comment section below right now. Who you think is gonna take the first win for the event?
Yep, and we've got these codes that we're giving away that are showing up on the screen. You got to be quick to enter those, but we also have some additional ones that will be sent out after the fact. And so keep an eye on the screen for those codes. Tell us who you think is going to win this game. We've seen some successful extractions, but all of the times are very close in that 9-minute to 11-minute range. And remember, this is the total for the day. Each 30-minute time frame, they'll be operating on a different map, but with the same objective. Get that loot value for that map and get the extract as fast as possible. We see Choco Taco using a lot of hip fire in this game, and hip fire in this game, just like in a real tactical scenario, is only for extremely close environments. You are not aiming down the sights. You have far less control over the weapon system, and that's replicated in the game. So hip fire could be very effective. It keeps your movement speed up, especially in really close environments. But past 10 or 15 meters in this game, hip fire becomes far less effective. And we see Choco Taco getting into those fights. He may be learning that the hard way.
I need that scope.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you were talking about the coin value target that they have for each map. Even though the next map is Valley, even though it is bigger, right? There's a lot of running that's going to be involved in Valley. And having played this game for a few months now, getting 200k in Valley is not going to be a quick job. In fact, it might, you know, the timings that we're going to have in Valley are probably going to be longer than the extract times in Farm, because in Farm it's quite easy to get 100k, dip, go into another game. In Valley, all the POIs, all the point of interest, the loot spots are quite far from each other. So it's
an RPK
mods. It's going to be a bigger map, meaning it's going to be different weapons. So I doubt
absolutely
that Noah is going to be running MP5s. What do you think he'll switch?
I think we're going to see Noah switch his weapon up for Valley and then switch right back to the MP5.
Yeah, honestly.
With the dum-dum rounds for Armory. See, in Valley, the bigger map, longer run times, bigger, wider open spaces in between the urban areas or built-up areas with buildings. And so we are going to see some longer extract times, but also with Valley, there's more of a concentration of where the loot is in the center of the map. And so I think that what we may see is it's going to be a little bit more difficult to hit that 200k, like you said, on Valley, and those extraction times are going to be longer. So they'll be pushing to make the time and get that advantage on Valley. And then in Armory, on our third iteration, our third map today, the challenge ratchets up a few levels because all of the other players and the AI, the guards on Armory, are much more difficult to deal with. They all have much higher level armor and ammo. Their guns are all built out. And they have that 300K. I don't think the 300K is a big problem on Armory, not nearly as big of a challenge as the 200K on Valley, but Armory, the competition is the problem.
But I think Choco Taco is currently in an altercation with I'm not quite sure if that guy that he saw in that building was a real player, but he was peeking and the guy ran away. So I'm not too sure. Yeah. I think he's being pushed by a real player here.
I don't think he can vault.
He's got a couple of guards in the area still up, but he has at least a one TAC Ops player that he's struggling against. I think he's just dipping out of there. He may have his loot already, and he's dealing with that TAC Ops player who has the gear. He's this close to the extraction point. If he already has that 100K, he needs to get out of there and not deal with somebody who's got all of that armor and is going towards the exact same extraction point as him. He needs to get off that map and hope he's got that 100K.
Let's see how much he has.
I don't think it could have been worse. I think we automatically get a 30.
Choco Taco's second successful extraction from what we've seen. He's got to hit that 100K. Only getting 37K on his first extraction does 6 minutes and 24 seconds.
But how much was the loot value though? That is the question.
That loot value amount, because if he got 100K, that is the fastest time we've seen. But the jury's still out on that one. We might not see enough loot value for that time to count.
Yeah, so
Choco Taco getting aggressive though. Every time we go over to his viewpoint, it seems like he's in a gunfight with 3 people.
Yeah, he just doesn't. It doesn't shy away from the guns, from the fights. He just doesn't. I like it.
How much is it?
Yeah, absolutely.
The guy is actually really good.
But I have the I'll just
okay, so
yeah, we have
what do we have
plenty
here
of
now?
people in the chat saying they think Choco Taco is going to take this. We've got Team Noah now. Yeah. Monarch way out in front. Noah trying to keep up. They may be on their second or third extraction attempt here at this point. We've got several teams that have made multiple extractions, and so we'll have plenty of people with scores on the board, and that really means that a 30-minute score, a 30-minute time on the farm round is going to be a tough problem to overcome for the whole event today.
20 ping for the first time ever. I'm like used to playing on 200 ping.
And here we go. He's heading out. This is one of the parts that I really dread in extraction-based games. You know, everything can go well, but there could be that one extract camper who will just ruin your day with a single nade.
Dude, that was only
has that ever happened to you?
Yep, absolutely.
Like,
I've been extract camped once, but we had so many grenades left that we just covered the extraction point with grenades to get out of there. That last extract is absolutely nerve-wracking, and we are finishing up the first round. We're going to see the scores tallied here in a little bit, and remember, this is the total time for each fastest extraction for your team in each round, and you have to hit the loot amount for each map for that time to count. So you're going for fast extractions, and in this farm iteration, the loot target was 100,000 coin. And so we saw several successful extractions. We saw some really fast extraction times. I need to see if Choco Taco had enough loot in that extraction, because we saw a 624. That's one of the fastest games I've ever seen.
And to be fair, you know, he had a fight. He had an upcoming fight, a potential fight. This is another thing in Arena Breakout and shooter games, to be honest. You don't take every fight. So you look at the situation, you make a decision based on what your goal is. Do you want to kill another person, or do you want to get out with money? Is it too risky to take the fight? Can you win the fight? If not, dip. You know what I mean? So it's these things that people struggle with, because it's a completely type of game from BR, from multiplayer. In multiplayer, you can just go for as many kills as you want, and you just respawn immediately, right? Or almost immediately. But yeah, in that situation with Choco Taco, that is actually quite a regular occurrence. So the amount of times I'm in a situation where I'm not going to win this fight, I won't take it. I'll just dip to keep a bit of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And what's interesting, when you get into esports and competitive aspects in a game like this, that is when you really see that decision making come into play. And we have our scoreboard here, And we see some really fast extraction times, but not enough loot value. So Clean and Choco Taco both falling short of the 100,000 loot value target. I think we're starting to see some of those mobile players' experience come into play with where the hot spots for loot are on the map. What do you think about this first scoreboard, Ice?
I mean, first of all, I almost want to knock on Choco Taco and Clean's door and say, look guys, the best thing that you want to do is just rush the hot zones, which is the circle, the red circle on your maps, and that's where you're going to find the best loot, and then just keep trying your luck and then get out once you've got good loot. But the difference between Lavinio's team and Noah's team, with Choco Taco and Clean's, it just shows, you know, they have the experienced players, and Lavinio's team is actually not that far much quicker than Noah's team. You know what I mean? So we're not really looking at the breakout value here. We want to have a look at the finish time because they both hit the minimum 100K.
Absolutely.
So are they gonna switch that up next game?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to see some of these players adjust those tactics. That was Choco Taco's first time going down as we see these highlights here. Let's take a look and watch some of the top plays in this first round.
This was the bit where we thought he was gonna die. I'm actually keen to find out if he died there. I'm not too sure.
I think Choco Taco definitely had the most gunfights in round one, but we saw some crazy action. Definitely some team on team with 4-on-4 covert ops players and a ton of these bot interactions where the players took shots like Choco Taco there. He was successful in eliminating the guard, but when they took some of those shots, makes you stop, put the bandages on, recover, and that slows down the process of getting to the extraction point and off the map.
There's definitely a lot of things to remember when playing this game, and like I said, it's not your typical BR game where you fly inside, pick a weapon, and start gunning everyone down. So like we see in this event, it's not just about PvP. The game is not just about PvP. It's actually, you can play in many different play styles. So some people literally just like to collect all the shiny, expensive, rare items. Some people just prefer just the PvP like me, and some people like to actually go through the process of looting. So
good to play.
You just got to understand what the task is and make your preparations before you go in a game based on what you want to get out of the game, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And let's get into some of these tactics that we saw that were successful in this first round. So without a doubt, our top two teams, the two with a qualifying loot value, Lavinio and Team Noah, they both used a similar tactic where they rushed a central area where they knew there were going to be plenty of guards and where they knew there were safes and weapon boxes where that had that loot value. They rushed that area where they knew the loot value was there and then got to the extraction point. We saw Clean and Choco Taco taking the tactic of going after gunfights to loot guards and other players potentially and try and find their loot value that way. And I think that second tactic struggled in this first round. So I'm interested to see if we see a change of tactics because it is valid. It's just a much bigger risk if you go after teams for the loot value. You know, if you get a team really, really close to your insertion point, you're able to take that whole team, grab their loot, and then run straight to an extract. That's probably the fastest way to play this. Much higher risk though.
Absolutely. So this is another thing to think about when you're playing Arena Breakout. There are spawn points in each games, and those spawn points are always fixed. Now, teams don't always spawn in those spawn points, but you got to know where those spawn locations are, because the moment you spawn, you're in danger. You got to pop that painkiller, get in position, and then pop the painkiller, whichever way, depending on where you spawn. You could get lucky, I guess, so to speak, and spawn next to a team that are stacked as hell. They have no idea that you spawned, but you see them because they just run somewhere else. You can take that team out, take their loot, get out. So there is there is also that element. And when we were talking about tactics, it's actually very interesting because Satan, Monarch, and Trashy, they all play together a lot. So it's very, very interesting to see how Monarch leads his team, I guess, and Lavinio's team gets led. So they're probably playing a very similar tactic, as we see by how they rotate and how Lavinio was in the back, Noah was in the back most of the time, and you've got the front runners at the front. So it's almost identical what they're doing, right? And that's because Monarch, Trashy, and Sade talk a lot, play a lot, and share their tactics together, and they all learn from each other. So it's very interesting how things are going to pan out between those two top teams.
And we see some of the questions in the chat about how do you deal with people who just spam grenades. Well, there's an interesting thing about this game, and it's that real world tactics actually work in this game. So I'll tell you, in the real world, the response to grenades is get behind cover as fast as possible, get down into a crouch position, get into the prone. The most common grenade in this game is the M67 fragmentation grenade, and that grenade performs poorly against armor. Right? And so if you're able to get into a crouch position, or you're able to get into the prone before that grenade explodes, or maybe behind some cover, that grenade will affect you less. You'll be able to heal quicker and get back into the gunfight. But if you're standing up and your legs are exposed to those M67 fragmentation grenades, you're going to go down in 1, maybe 2 grenades if you're lucky.
Grenades in this game are absolutely horrible. They are so powerful, and they are in real life, I'm guessing. I mean, I've never served, but I'm guessing they are very powerful. And what I do say though is, yeah, get behind cover or run around the tree and then just have something in front of you, between you and the grenade. Or if someone is clearly spamming grenades non-stop, rush them. If you're quite close to that person, rush that person, because the time that it would take to throw a grenade, pull another grenade out, switch to a weapon, pull the weapon out, and get ready to be able to shoot takes about 4 or 5 seconds to all happen. You can rush that guy as they're throwing a grenade, and by the time you get to them, you can just gun them down. So that's one of the best things, but it's very situational. And like you said, either take cover or just rush them. Depends on how far you are, depends on the situation, depends on the area, the scenery. Yeah, those are the 2 best games.
And you gotta remember,
those are the 2 best ways to deal with that.
And as powerful as those grenades are, they have a limited blast radius. 3 to 5 meters is that typical blast radius. And so if you can move, get out of the way, the real danger is 3, 4, 5 grenades. You see a bunch of grenades going in, it's time to rush the guys throwing them, because they've still got the grenades in their hands. So yeah, you got to test those tactics out and try and deal with those crazy grenade spammers. Because I tell you, if you've got the MP5 with dum-dum rounds in it like Noah has, and you rush those grenade guys when they're sitting there with an M67 in their hand, and you're shooting them in the legs with that dum-dum ammo, I tell you, that's probably effective tactics right there.
Exactly. Yeah. So these are all about, these are tactics that you learn by watching videos or playing with people or playing in general. So people say, how do you deal with nade spammers? First of all, put yourself in a position where you don't have to deal with them. So that's one of the best ways to deal with nade spammers. Don't deal with them. So for example, if you go into a corridor and there's an enemy on the other side, and if you push that corridor, you'll have nowhere to go. Don't push the corridor. If you know that someone's holding a grenade, back off. Get out, rotate, hit the flanks. So it's not about how do you deal with grenade spammers. Yeah, it's a simple, it could be literally as simple as, I ain't going in this room, I ain't going through this hallway, because if he throws a grenade, I'm definitely dead. So again, plan before you even take the fight. So this goes with playing game knowledge, watching guides and stuff like that. And yeah, it's all about using your brain all the time. Literally, the best way to deal with situations is sometimes don't put yourself in them.
Yeah. Now remember, we need to see who you think is going to win this challenge today. We're getting into the second game here in just a second. Leave your Instagram handle in the chat and who you think is going to win this game. We are tracking those Instagram handles, and you may see a DM as a result of that if you're one of those chosen names. So definitely do that. Tell us who you think is going to win. Tell us what you think about that first round, and we're going to be moving on to Valley here in a second. 200,000 coin loot requirement and a larger map with more spaced out extraction points. I think the time's going to be more difficult to hit, and that loot target is definitely going to be difficult.
Now, Valley is a completely different map from Farmland. It really is. There's a lot of open space. I'd say this place is more sniper central than Northridge, because in Northridge you can get lost in the woods, but in Valley it's very open, it's very big, there's a lot of high grounds, a lot of sniping spots. So here people are really going to need to pay attention to the hills. Even if they're paying attention to the hills, if they rotate at the wrong spot, they could get taken out by someone who's just camping up there with an M110 or an AX50, for example. So I'm very keen to see how these guys change their playstyles to go into the spots where they're going to loot in.
Yeah, and we see Choco Taco here on Valley moving towards that central point, and he's got that 6x scope on the weapon. And then we're looking over here with Trashy out in front. Choco Taco using the range here. Slow and steady, patient. Couple of shots, finally gets the headshot, taking out bots on the beach. I hope he does not fall for the trap of trying to go out on the beach to be able to get all of that loot done, because that is the most open area of this map. It is absolutely the most dangerous engagement area. I think we're seeing some similar tactics from the mobile gamer teams here, with them using those team dynamics, putting a couple of players out in front and moving with some space between them for cover. Choco Taco in this game solo, staying on the perimeter of the beach, and he's going to make that risky decision and move in. And there it is. He's getting shot on the beach. As we mentioned, the most dangerous engagement area on this map. He gets a little bit of cover, but is he going to be able to deal with that threat from the high ground?
Oh my God.
That is definitely a real player, and he headshots from across the beach. We're going to see, he's probably going to go back and loot that, but with a real player, with a TAC Ops player there, that he just one-shot headshot across the beach, that may be enough loot value to get the job done. If this is 100K in loot value and he's able to get to an extraction, we may see that tactic B we mentioned earlier. Another player right in front of him, and he goes down. He almost had it.
Way. Oh, no shot.
That was so good.
Gluey. Damn. Do you see how quick things can just turn in this game? Everything could be peaceful. The scenery could be nice, really nice graphics, really realistic surroundings, and then boom, you're looking at the sky, and your eyes are shutting down. Yeah, exactly. This is another thing that I love about the game. You know, things can be so peaceful. You could have had a really good run. You almost wiped the entire lobby, or you wiped the entire lobby of real players. You've got really good loot, 1.2 million loot value, and some bot is camping in the corner and takes you out.
Damn.
It's literally, it keeps me on my toes every time I play a game, and that's why I really love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, and this is not one of those games where you've got the red outline around your players. We see Team Noah successfully navigate the beach, but they are not going to stay there for long. Monarch up in front, just like we saw in the last round, as they push into this central area. This place is full of guards and an absolute magnet for the other teams on the map. So they're going to move through here, clear their doors, clear their windows, and move room to room. But you see, as soon as they get into the built-up area, this is the way this team movement works in real tactics. The absolute best course of action is in the open areas, more spread out. The moment you get into these built-up areas where things are closer, you have to tighten up the group so you don't get split up and you know, cut in half as a team by the enemy players. So you see them tighten up into a couple of rooms, close proximity, as they take down some of those threats right in the middle of the map. They should have plenty of opportunity for loot value. Noah, though, getting shot quite a bit in that engagement, having to hit the surgical kit here before he gets going again.
And again, it's good how they are positioning themselves, because they're not all just going into one room. Now, every single person, the whole squad, 4 people in one room, is a recipe for a disaster. Because if one person throws a grenade, these 3 are dead. So this is what I was talking about. But they must know that the area is clear, right? So if you're getting into a gunfight, clustering up in the same room is a recipe for a disaster. Someone can just throw in a grenade and you're all dead. So you know, this is a team that know what they're doing.
So,
they cleared the area. Area safe. Let's go and loot. Let's see what's in here. But unfortunately, he finds nothing highly valuable in the safe.
Yeah, still chasing down that loot value, and this is what we were talking about. That's 6K on your LCD screen out of that safe. At 6K, hey, that's working your way up towards that 100K if it's on farm. Here on Valley, with that 200K requirement, you could have a backpack full of LCD screens and you would get nothing done. But now we see Team Noah engaging the boss team here on Valley. As the guards pour out, he's able to mow them down with that 1X red dot on the top of his weapon, and they're going to move in from multiple different angles to clear through these buildings. You see they're not bunched up. A couple go high and a couple stay low as they clear across these teams, and Noah gets the chance to loot all the way through this area.
Yeah, this place is like full of scavs.
So what is your favorite map in the game,
There's
man?
nothing of value here.
I've been dying to ask you that question. I'm not quite sure which one it is, but what what do you like and why?
Right there to your left.
So I go back and forth. It's hard to not be drawn to Armory, right? That's where you get the most intense gunfights. That's where you get the best loot opportunity. But I love Farm Blockade. Farmland Blockade is absolutely the best map, I would say, for the most well-rounded experience in the game, because the competition level's high. It's the more difficult version of the Farmland map, so the loot is a little bit better, but it's not quite as small, as cramped, or as complex an extraction as Armory. So as you're getting that skill, as you're working on your way up in this game and working your gear on the way up, it will be really, really beneficial if you spend some time on Farmland Blockade. That's where you want to get the practice against some of the more competitive teams before you drop a couple million in loot value on accident in Armory. But we see Noah. Team Noah's making his way through. He's hit basically every single safe on this
I've got a solid,
on this section.
6,000.
Oh god.
Now for me, my luck RNG with safes is not good, dude. It really isn't. I could open a ton of safes, but don't really get anything crazy good. I mean, during the Rich Showdown event, and funny enough, I always said, "Oh, I'm not gonna find. Well, we're gonna struggle to find all these loot." And then I think it was like the second or third game, I opened the safe in the blue room. I found a golden lion, and then the next door in the free safe, I found the projector worth 400k. That was by far the luckiest streak I've ever had. But apart from that, I honestly don't find good loot in safe. In general, I don't really find good loot. Even when I'm fighting players, I very rarely come across T6s.
Oh wait,
but,
10,000.
Yeah, that is absolutely the case.
Does that count if you pick that up?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, chat. What is your favorite map?
Probably get
let us know in the comment section below, guys. What is your favorite map and why?
If we killed like a real player, then
I see some comments in there. Armory is my bankruptcy. I think that's the case for quite a few players here. We do see Team Noah making his way through those buildings, and he has racked up a couple of items that are 10k or more. And so Noah may very well be closing in on that 200k loot value. Choco Taco making his way across the map. We have not seen our first successful extraction yet from Valley. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what these times look like, because we're seeing the loot challenge is taking quite a bit more effort on this map than on the previous one. And Choco Taco has been, I mean, he's our guy that's staying in gunfights, but he hasn't been challenged in a couple of minutes here. So we'll see if he can find his way into a fight and start to approach that 200k loot value. Looks like he's learned some lessons from the first round, and he's making his way across with a little bit more cover.
Yeah,
a little bit more deliberate process.
Oh, my gear is so heavy.
Yeah, he's definitely being very, very cautious right now. He learned his lesson. Now this is another thing. This is the part of the progress when you're playing. You know, when you're a new player in the game. You run and gun, and then you slowly realize, okay, this is not working.
Fighting over there.
I need to come down a little bit. I need to come down a little bit. Now the reason why Choco Taco and Clean's time. So let's run down through the scores, guys. So Lavinio's got 8 minutes and 45 seconds. Noah's got 9 minutes. Noah's team got 9 minutes and 27 seconds. Now Choco Taco has 30 minutes as well as Clean's. This is because they haven't hit the minimum loot value in order to extract. So even though they've extracted, they didn't have enough loot value for the timer to count. And in that case, the round that they're gonna get scored with is gonna be 30 minutes if they extracted successfully. So you have to hit the minimum loot value to be able to count your actual extract time as your score. I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense, Mud?
Yep, absolutely. So once you see those coin amounts from the farmland iteration, and Team Noah, Team Lavinio at both at amounts over 100K. And because they hit that 100K amount in their loot on their successful extraction, they have their time count. But Choco Taco at 37 and Clean not able to successfully extract. As a result of that, both will show 30-minute times and have a huge challenge to overcome here in order to catch back up. And Team Levino and Team Noah, with less than a minute, I believe, very, very close in that, you know, when we're in that 1 to 2 minute range, as we get into the games on Valley, that is a small gap to close on a bigger map where it's tougher to find loot value. There, I think we're going to see some switch ups in the scores and in the standings after this second round.
So this is what I would do in Valley, guys. This is how I'm someone who did Rich or Die event, and my team got 8 million in 2 hours. And in those 2 hours, we managed to jam 7 fully extracted games, guys. That's literally 7 games in 2 hours. I planned it down to a T. So this is how I would plan this game to a T. In Valley, I would spawn in, depending on where I spawn, I would either hit Motel first or Small Factory. So, not Motel, sorry, Villa, which is at the south, and Small Factory, which is at the top. I would hit one of those and then head for the extract straight away and then rinse, repeat, depending on where I spawn. Because going from the spawn into Motel, into Small Factory, into the extract is going to take a lot of time. So what I would just do is literally just go to one of the hot zones and then dash straight to the extract. And then literally just reset. Because remember, guys, they're not looking for the highest loot value. They're looking for the minimum loot value with the fastest time. So every now and again, they'll probably get lucky and find a couple of good stuff in a save. If not, dip. And then just go back in. I would literally just spam the fact that you have unlimited goals for each map. That's what I would do. How would you do?
Yeah, absolutely. I would do the exact same thing. I think what we're going to see is that the proven tactic in this is iterating as quickly as possible, and each time doing the exact same plan where you run to that high density area, more guards, more safes, and hope for the best RNG with the safe and its contents. But the key here is going to be ensuring that your gunfights are efficient and that you do well in your gunfights, especially a team fight, because every single time you have to stop, hit the surgery kit, hit the bandages, hit the med kits. That's 30-45 seconds off of your time. And so something I've seen in the chat a couple of times on the stream so far, this is a mobile PC situation, but that is where the players are traditionally seen, right? So we've got 2 guys in Levino and Team Noah that are historically mobile streamers, mobile competitors, and then we have Clean and Choco Taco that are known for their PC gaming and streaming, but everyone today is playing on a mobile device. We have a couple of phones, we have a couple of tablets in the game today. So everyone here is playing with fingers on glass mobile device, and this is a mobile-only game. So this is the most complex, detailed extraction shooter, one of the most detailed in graphics, just amazing games we've seen for mobile, and everyone here is playing with that mobile experience today. So we see the first successful extraction for Team Noah.
90K, 90.6K.
Yep, that 90K loot value is not enough. And so,
not at all.
You know, that's what you say. You got to get that you got to know the loot value, right? So here's something that if you have a lot of experience in this game and you understand the loot value, one of the areas you don't expect where there can be high loot value is when you kill other players. It takes up a lot of space to put their whole weapon in your backpack, but you can take the parts off of that weapon. So if you notice, guy's got a 3.5x ACOG, he's got one of those optics on his weapon, and it's some big LMG or some weapon that's not worth very much, take the optic off. Take that 18, 20K of value for that weapon part and save some space. So with a little bit of experience, you may see some of these players a little bit more familiar with those weapon attachments and their value, be able to pull loot off of this map and find more loot from these gunfights.
Yep, because if, like I said, if like Modzic said, if you find a scope that's maybe 4x or 6x, something like that, that single 2-slot item is more expensive than a full default gun build. Put it that way. So you just need to understand item values and just pick up what's best. Yeah, picking up a whole weapon isn't always worth it. Like if I saw an AKM in a few weeks' time, I wouldn't pick up the whole gun. Like right now, what Lavinio's got, I'll just pick up the mags, the foregrip, the scope, and that's pretty much it. I'll just leave the rest of the gun. Maybe the silencer if he has a silencer on it, and then just leave the gun on the floor, and then just have a few pieces of expensive items in my bag. And also the weight also matters in this game. So the heavier you get, the slower you get. The heavier you get, the quicker your stamina drains, the slower it gets back up. So you also need to remember that. It's not just about, okay, I've got as much money as I can just extract now very quickly. Nope, you might not even be able to run because you're super overweight at 70 kg.
Only 2k there.
Yeah, and some other areas, you know, speaking about efficient value for backpack space, ammo, the higher level ammo goes for big dollars in this game, that high coin amounts. And so if you can fill an entire mag, a 60 round mag with level 4 or level 5 ammo, you could have 60k in loot value in a single mag. And so really the experience in this game is learning how to efficiently stack high value into the space that you have. You know, if you've got a rig in your backpack, you could leave that rig unrolled and put items in the rig slot and then have the rig in your backpack. So there are stackable items, and knowing which items are stackable, knowing which smaller items have high loot value is going to be essential on this map.
Oh, we found a key.
We see a key.
65k key. Let's go.
For Choco Taco.
That is huge. That is he needs to put that in his safe.
Absolutely massive.
Oh my god.
Please put that in your safe. Oh my god, this is killing me. Please tell me
he's gonna need a successful extraction either way. So I mean, he has got to prioritize getting off the map at this point. He's got decent loot, but the fact of the matter is he may still not be at 200k. You know, he may have a couple more safes he needs to hit before he hits that minimum loot value. But that's 65,000 key is absolutely essential. That's the RNG. That's the luck you're hoping for from those safes to be successful. And Lavinio absolutely going crazy in a gunfight, downing 3 players in a row, taking almost no damage at all. And that's where you see Lavinio, one of the most well-known PUBG mobile players in the world. That's where you see that mobile gaming mechanical gun skill come out, and that advantage that guys like him with this much experience on this piece of hardware have. You know, his split-second reactions, his ability to transfer spray, even in a technical game like this, we've got to manage recoil with short bursts instead of full auto. That ability gives them the chance to take down a whole team here, right? They're looting the bodies of an entire team of TAC Ops players. They've got good headsets. They've got expensive items, expensive attachments. And that's what we were talking about. You do well in that gunfight, that team-on-team gunfight, and you may have all the loot you need from one gunfight.
I think we have to go soon.
Yeah. Sorry.
I think they still have someone in their sights right now. And look at this movement from Lavinio. This is what I was talking about earlier. Being a PUBG mobile player, he will have those basics of spam, lean, peaks, mechanics. Now that's something that I haven't even mastered yet. You know, I find it quite hard to do the whole crouch peek on peek crouch, that kind of situation. But he displayed that really well there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, we see some comments in the chat about pro plays against bots. There are AI guards on this map, but every time you see them loot someone and you see dog tags in that loot, you are guaranteed that is a TAC Ops player. That is another person on this game. So there's no questioning what is a guard on the map and what is another player. And that's one of the best things about this game is that we see Noah getting some high value loot items, but Choco Taco goes down.
Hours on this game.
Yeah,
face to face.
I think he got rushed. He got rushed, and that player was quite stacked. I didn't quite see what the guy was wearing, but he looked pretty beefy. I'm guessing minimum T4. It could have been T5, but it was too quick. It was way too quick. It just happened.
Here's my question: is I'm interested to see if that was Noah's team that downed him. Right? These guys are in the same place on Valley. They may be even in the same lobby. So we may see some teams cross paths here and run into each other. And Choco Taco probably does not want to see Team Noah enforce all 4 players.
Yeah. And this is another thing. I'm not exactly sure who Clean is playing with. Is he? I don't think he was playing with this guy earlier. Did Clean? Is Clean in a team, or is he playing with randoms right now?
Clean may very well have decided to start this as a solo queue and then said, "Hey, I'll bring some randoms into the group and random queue and see if we can get some people to draw some fire, maybe get some team dynamics in there." So that would be interesting to see if Clean gets the benefit of having random queue teammates on his team and maybe a little bit more situational awareness from that to increase his likelihood of winning a gunfight or getting that extraction.
And right here, Lavinio is demonstrating how he is a PUBG mobile player with his ultra high gyroscope sensitivity. This is something that you see a lot of. Very, very common in PUBG, where everyone has got a 300 max sense gyro, and it's literally just very shaky, and you can tell. You can definitely tell he's got a lot of time as a PUBG player.
Yeah, absolutely. The PUBG Mobile is where you see more gyroscope BR play than almost anywhere else. And in many cases, in a technical aiming situation, that's going to give him that little bit of touch to be able to get those long-range shots, be very efficient in his gunfights, and be successful. And we saw him snap back and forth in a gunfight earlier. So clearly he's had some success with that so far. Noah taking some long-range shots from the high ground here, clearing the way for his team to be able to extract. And then we see Team Lavinho on the extraction point. 5 seconds left here. A successful extraction. Is he going to hit that 200K?
We'll find out in a few seconds. What does he have? 326K with 9:29 minutes. That is absolutely insane. That is so good. That's I think that's what he got.
An unbelievable result. Sub 10 minutes, more than enough loot. It looks like Team Lavinho is the team to beat right now in this Valley round.
All right, well, I need to take this guy's.
Ooh, very interesting here. They're just gonna drop all the loot in the storage. Maybe even just quickly sell it and jump into it for another round. I wonder if they're gonna beat their own time on that, because 326. That's relatively fast in 9 minutes, 9.5 minutes, and I think they started doing literally just spawn hot zone.
Yeah, and we see Team Noah successfully able to down Attack Ops team, and they've got a ton of loot on them. So Noah in this game right now able to loot out an entire team. He may get all 200K in loot value from this last interaction. And frankly, if I'm Team Lavinho, my next tactic, once you have a 926 in the bank, at this point, it is time to sell out, take all the risks, just spread across the map. You've got a great time in the bank. At this point, just absolutely go for a murderously fast time. Throw caution to the wind. And so I'm interested to see if we see that kind of near reckless play from them, given they already have a nice score in the bank for this round.
Looks like they just took down a team that looked like they just took down a player that was relatively stacked right there. Now let's have a look at Clean and see how he's getting on.
Clean is in a gunfight here, and he's got some cover from these sandbags, but he sees those footsteps and voice indicators all around him, and he's going to need to get his way out of this gunfight. I think he's on his own at this point, and he sees these players at mid-range. And so they're not running towards him. That's another thing in this game, is that as you see the guards running in a direction, that direction is what they've activated on. And so there's clearly another team out there. And so now he's in a situation where he has fired his weapon. He's got to deal with those guards potentially engaging him, but there's also another covert ops team out there somewhere behind those trees that are in between him and the loot and in between him and the extraction point. So he's going to have to navigate this situation. He's got those players, potentially guards, firing at him. And yeah, this is a tough situation to be in because he's still under the gun on time now that Lavinho has such a fast time. A sub 10-minute extraction successfully from Valley with over 200K in loot.
Two of the same gun now.
And chat, remember, don't forget, to tell us who you think is gonna win this week, and leave your Instagram in the comment section below. I want to find out who you guys think are gonna win. It's gonna be really tight.
Murder.
By the looks of it, between Team Lavinio and Team Noah. But we're gonna have to wait and see for that. Now look at where they are right now, Beach Villa. They're gonna have to cross through the beach. This is a very risky strat, by the way, guys. What they're doing right now is incredibly. Oh, that is a real player right there. That guy was just chilling, enjoying the beach, and these guys just railed him. Absolutely deleted him.
And that's way to the extraction, but widest open area, high risk. You get caught out in the middle of the beach like that by a team like Team Noah, Godsley, Monarch out there. Guy is out in the middle of the beach with nowhere to go. He just stands there and takes a hail of bullets. And they take the risky approach where they cut all the way across the beach here and head straight for the extraction point. You see Team Noah making his way to the extraction point while his teammates loot the player they just killed. If they find anything of value, they'll say, hey, wait up, let me give you this item, this high value item. But if there's nothing of value, Noah is on his way to the extraction. So these are the little small micro tactics within this movement and rotation that get them the advantage. Noah continues the rotation to get to the extraction point as fast as possible while his teammate stays behind to loot that player, doing every little thing here they can to shave time off of this extraction and post the fastest time possible.
And there he is, Noah just popping shots out in the open, calling everyone, hey, I'm here. And imagine if a team just hears that and absolutely rolls on him. Where is he going? I thought he was going to jump off of that. Oh, yeah, he did.
Appreciate what feeling normal
heading for the extract right now, though. I wonder how much loot value he has now.
Oh, broken legs.
I think that's why I don't get sick, to be honest.
Oh, that was close. When he's jumping off that leg, listen, fall damage in this game is serious. And it's not just overall damage like you see in many other games. It's not the fall damage that Tim the Tapman is famous for. This is broken legs. It requires you get the surgical kit out. It requires you get the bandages out, get the med kits out. And so fall damage in this game is serious consequences and can get you stuck, moving slow, and trapped if another team sees you make that mistake. But yeah, we can see the chat here. Everybody's watching. That's why we want to ask to see who you think is going to win. If you type who you think is going to win in the chat and leave your Instagram handle, that's what we need to see so that you're in the running for some of these benefits, some of these codes that we have. Remember, if you see the codes, the redemption codes on the screen, go to that event section on your home screen on Arena Breakout in game and hit the far left tab, the last one down, go to code redemption to get the value of those bundles. Let's see what Team Noah's extraction amount is. 11:28, a decent time, pretty close to Lavinio. We are going to see if he's got enough.
So aggressive there. Should have seen me, man. I was going crazy. I was like, no, Godsley, don't die. I got you.
Yeah, Noah doesn't get it done with 136K. That is not going to get it done for this game mode. That 200K coin being the minimum loot value to qualify your time. And yeah, we see Team Noah, Team Lavinio with successful extractions, but Lavinio being in the advantage right now. The only massive successful extraction we saw, huge loot value and a sub 10-minute time.
Exactly. Now this is what I was talking about Valley earlier. Everything is so spread out, and you know, from the spawn point to the actual loot zones to the actual extract zone, it's quite a tricky map in terms of loot focused gameplay. So what a lot of people do in Valley is that they rely on killing other people to take their loot, which is why a lot of people just snipe in Valley, take people out from a far distance without even being seen, take their loot, and then go and loot the high value places. Or what some people do is there is a mountain, like a hill in the middle of Valley that overlooks the villa. What some people do is just sit there with a sniper or an M110, wait for the people to loot villa, clear villa, come out, take those guys out. So they do the work, they just sit there and, I don't know, read a book while they wait and camp. So these are the sort of strategy in Valley. Valley, you for a game like this, for an absolutely time conscious task like this, you need to just get in, go to one spot, get out, spam, rinse, repeat. That's what I would have done there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we kept saying throughout those Valley games that beach area was super high risk. there are about 6 different covered areas that can fit an entire team, all of which have Overwatch over that beach area. And so the amount of risk that Team Noah, Team Livino had to take to use that in and out across beach tactic, that's a huge amount of risk on this map. Team Livino being successful over 300,000 in loot and being able to get a sub 10-minute time. We're going to see some of the recap and some of the highlights from this. We'll try not to go crazy and talk over all of these highlights, but we've got some key moments, especially from Team Livino with that successful extraction coming up here with our Valley round. And after this, after Valley, we go into our final round on Armory, where we really see some action and some hot competition. Ice, it looks like we had some struggles on Valley for our teams here.
Oh, yeah. Team Livino, not only is Team Livino the only team that actually managed to extract with a minimum amount, they did it really fast. Really, that is like farm time right there. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
I'm not quite sure what they looted there. I'm curious to find out what they looted there.
Yeah, I think he had quite a bit of luck with some of his safe looting and then was also able to down some other players. So it's really that combination. But opening up a 20-minute and 31-second gap with this round over all other teams, Team Livino is in the driver's seat. They've clearly got their tactics worked out. And realistically, the moment Team Livino gets a successful extraction off of Armory, he may clinch this entire event. The only team to be successful to extract with over 200,000 coin on Valley. We're going to see some highlights here in a minute, and then we will be getting into the Armory game. Choco Taco and Clean not being able to get a successful extraction off of Valley, and yeah, they're going to have to log 0 coin and a 30-minute time. But Noah doing all the work, getting to the extraction point, getting the successful extraction, does no better on the time standings there with only 136,000 coin with his extraction. So remember, if the team fails to extract, they are stuck with a 30-minute time, and if they fail to meet that coin requirement, they are stuck with a 30-minute time.
Oh, that is a nice snipe.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. As soon as
It sounds like a nuke.
I told my phone. Just you
So when Team Noah was here on the middle of Valley, they had some serious gunfights, and I'm surprised with all of that gunfighting in the middle of Valley, he wasn't able to hit that 200k amount.
For ARs.
Yeah, I mean, the first game, Livino already won that game with an 8-minute and 45-second time extract, and Team Noah got 9 minutes and 20 seconds. And then now Livino team has just gotten the W again. Now, things can change in Armory. They really, really can.
No, it's just...
If I were any of the teams and all I had to worry about was 300k's worth of loot, bro, I will not step foot in the bunker at all.
200, but
I would literally just maybe I would spawn in and then just rush, depending on where I spawn, I would just rush barn, I would rush radar station, I would rush gas station, get out. That's what I would do right there. Going into the bunker is not only time consuming, it is incredibly risky because of the players and also the bots, and then the extract system, which is really, really annoying in Armory. Now, this is what I would do in Armory. I would get the biggest rigs, right? The biggest rig that I could possibly find, and don't bring a backpack, because all they've got to pick up is 300k's worth of loot value, right? They could get lucky and find an item, like a few items, or maybe even kill players straight away. That will let them use the no backpack extract. So just stack as much as you can, in the rigs and then just get out without any backpack. So you wouldn't have to pull the switch of the lever, wait until you can extract, fight the bots. Players probably push you in the extract. I would just rinse repeat like super fast. That's what I would do. What would you do?
So I would approach Armory with a very specific, very technical objective here, where I'm going to take the same path every single time, right? And I'm going to push the team up to the bunker, but I'm going to leave. If I'm the main player, I'm the one that has to extract with the loot. I'm going to stay outside the bunker with one player. I've found on Armory, if you're up at the bunker entrance, that's a high traffic area without risking exposure to the massive number of guards inside the bunker, right? But so many of the extraction points are activated from inside the bunker that I would have two players enter the bunker, potentially get some beneficial loot, activate an extraction point, and then those two outside immediately move to the extraction point. I think that gives you a couple of options by using that tactic, but this is only one I would use if I practiced it 10, 15, 20 times ahead of this event. Otherwise, exactly what you said. The moment you get into that bunker, there's an opportunity to get bogged down. You get shot by those bots. They have the guards have unbelievable aim, and every other player on that map is kitted to the max. And so the closer you get to bunker, the hotter the game gets. It's definitely a risk. Now, remember, we need to see from the chat who you think is going to win. Do you think Lavinho already has this clinched? Or do you think he's going to struggle to extract it all on Armory and give one of the other teams a chance to close the gap? Armory is a small map. We could see some fast extractions here. And so there is still an opportunity to close the gap. Leave your guess as to who you think is going to win this event in the chat with your Instagram handle to be eligible for some of those redemption codes. And if you see the redemption code on the screen, go to the events section in-game in the main screen and be the first person to put one of those redemption codes in to get the bundle, weapons, get a head start on your loot, and get into Arena Breakout today. We're going to be going to a break here in just a second, and when we come back, we will be jumping into Armory, the hottest map with the most geared players and the toughest guards, and it's going to get spicy here in our last round.
Absolutely. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Being an Armory, I always love watching people figure out how to deal with the problems in that place. So the problems that I have to deal with every day. Well, yeah. All right. Let's kick it, guys. See you soon.
After the break, we are back with Armory.
Don't waste your breath. Shit.
The bastards came, guns blazing. And they expect us to bow down? what you're fighting for? Here's my answer. A bullet! I fight you tooth and nail! Are we gonna let them leave fully loaded? No! Let them come, if they dare, and pay with their lives! Let them see our anger! Feel our pride! Show them who Kamona really belongs to! I will fight for her until the end.
This whole got fucked up real bad. Hey, boss. Check this out.
Let me see that.
Body's so warm. They might be close.
Nice optics. Extraction point's 2 clicks ahead. Let's go, ladies.
Sniper, second floor.
Get that motherfucker.
Set! I'm out! Go, 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 go! Set!
Fuck! Oh shit, that was close.
Welcome to the Arena Breakout Triathlon event, where creators will be pitted against one another to see who will become the Arena Breakout Ironman. Players will engage in intense shootouts and looting with high stakes and high rewards. Survival is key, as escaping the combat area alive is the only path to victory. It's a game where shooting, looting, and strategic decision-making are crucial for success. Get ready to break out! We've assembled top FPS pros and creators from across the globe to compete in 3 different challenges. Each challenge will take place on a different map, and the goal will be to get in, obtain the required amount of loot, and extract. Challengers will have unlimited attempts within a 30-minute time limit. Failure on any maps gets marked as the full 30 minutes. The lowest combined time across all challenges wins. Challenges will feature creators as participants, and they can choose to compete individually, bring along friends for assistance, or form teams with anyone. There are no restrictions on loadout value, but anything they bring will not count towards the map goal. The first challenge takes place on the farm. Creators must navigate through the heavily patrolled fields and gather 100k coin worth of loot before extracting. The next challenge is in the Valley Blockade, where they choose to break into the villas to find large amounts of loot and enemies, or stay on the outskirts and play it safe. Either way, challengers must nab 200k coin before breaking out. The final challenge will be held in the Armory. Challengers must be sure to do their reconnaissance here in order to remain efficient and find the exit to this potential death trap. This time, 300k coin is needed before your final evac. Heads up, any form of cheating is strictly prohibited. Keep your eyes on the battlefield to make sure you don't miss a minute of the action. Arena Breakout will be available on iOS and Android, so pre-register now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the chat, we are here for the 3rd and final round, and I cannot express enough how crazy Armory is about to get. Ice, tell us how crazy Armory is.
Dude, Armory is literally chaos in a nutshell. Chaos, but it's so addictive. It's so fun. It makes you... Someone said earlier, Armory is my bankruptcy? Right? Is that what he said earlier? Armory is my bankruptcy, something like that.
Armory is always my bankruptcy as well.
I would literally... Some people think going into Armory makes you rich. That's, you know... I don't know if it's a skill issue on my part, but I go into Armory. I save money to go into Armory that I'm going to spend because I go to Armory. So I don't end up actually getting mega rich in Armory, but then again, my style is different.
Armory is going to the casino in Arena Breakout. That's what it is. All right. Armory is going to the casino because you might walk away a millionaire, or you'll walk away and need to take a walk around the block like I had to this morning. It's the highest density of guards of any map in the game, and it is the highest density of covert ops players, 4-man teams kitted up to the max, but the best loot opportunity in the game. So we may see some really fast extractions, and we may see some really fast. You see on the bottom of the screen right now, get your games out, log into the game, go to the events section. Ice streams pointing right at these codes. Get those bundles, get those weapons, redeem those codes, and get a head start. Get yourself into Armory.
Yep. Oh man, I've literally been looking all day. Speaking of extractions, the extraction system in Armory is completely, well, I wouldn't say completely. There's one aspect. You need to be in the extraction, and then there's a countdown, and then you get out. But in Armory, for those that don't know, this is what makes Armory spicier than any maps, right? In order to extract, you need to activate the switch to activate the extract. And these switches are quite far from the actual extract zones. One of them is on another level of the bunker. So you go and you spawn into Armory, you loot, you kill, or you kill, you loot, whatever. When you're ready to get out, you need to go to the extract switches. Once you get to the extract switches, you flip the switches. Once you flip the switches, bots come out. More bots come out that are going to be hounding you at the extract. So you've not only got to worry about surviving the entire fight, you've also got to survive the exit, the extraction process to come out of Armory. What's your experience been like in Armory, Mud6?
I think there is no more nerve-wracking extraction than in Armory. We're about to get into the games. The teams are loading onto the maps right now, but that last few seconds of that extraction, there's always gunfights near you while you're extracting an Armory. It's nerve-wracking, and it is the highest likelihood of getting naded off of the extraction of any map in the game. You can see the map here, and we are going to get into this game with these teams and see who can survive the gauntlet of the bunker on Armory. Choco Taco taking it slow here, mid to long range engagements, and that's working out for him. You see he's got good cover, and he maintains the element of surprise. There's plenty of loot to be had on Armory, not in the bunker. There are other players there with high value loot, ammo that brings a high dollar amount, and there are plenty of opportunities to get to that 300K without going into the bunker, but you have to navigate the complexity of that extraction system.
And where Choco Taco is right now, they actually reworked this this area called hospital. So in these hospital tents, there are 2 rooms and a few a few items like this on the table and on the bed and stuff. But back in CBT2, there was a very small amount of loot from this place. Now, this place alone has these 2 rooms that has cabinets, jackets, a document case. Oh, this is a real player.
Choco Taco getting pushed around the corner. The hip fire works out for him.
Choco Taco.
He is barely injured.
Let's go with it, 2 beats.
They're feeding him.
They're
feeding him.
He needs to heal right now.
Go.
Let's go, Choco Taco. Wow, that was a very good play. He didn't move there. So that means he didn't produce any footsteps, didn't produce any audio, but I think someone else is pushing him. Someone is circling around him now. If he pre-aims this, he's jumping around. Team. This guy is jumping around.
Yep. They know he's inside. They're coming around. He's going to push through into this window.
There's 2 people.
They don't look through the window. A key mistake. This team is going to push into this building, not knowing Choco Taco is in there. They did not check the window. Going over to Team Levinho. Choco Taco goes down. Team Noah in the bunker dealing with some of these players.
Look at that bot proning. This is what we're talking about, chat. The bots in Armory are next level. They will prone, they will sit and hold a corner for a very long time and wait for you to come up there and then just pop you as soon as you turn up. Yeah. These bots are... I'm more scared of the Armory bots than the real players. I always say this. Every time I stream, I'm more scared of bots than real players.
Yeah, the guards on Armory, especially in bunker, there's 0 delay on the fire, and it is super accurate. So you immediately feel the penalty for tactical mistakes. Mistakes that where you leave yourself open to fire from different angles or multiple angles at once, where you cross an open area, you're immediately penalized by that. Now we see Noah's gear. You see he's got the helmet, the level 6 armor. These guys are kitted up to the max. They have all of the best gear on right now. And you see the difficulty and the pace that they have to use to move through this bunker and not have player after player get dropped. They constantly see footsteps. You see Levinho in a huge fight here near an extraction point, but absolutely backed up against the wall. He's got players and guards in all directions, footsteps, gunshots, and you see the mechanics. These are pro-level mobile mechanics. He's able to crouch spam and limit his exposure to some of these guards and potentially some of these players, but footsteps in all directions and his team doing some maneuvering while he's behind cover to try and gain some space. This is what Armory feels like constantly.
No, don't give them.
If Lavinio actually put time into this game, I'm not quite sure if these, because I can't really hear the audio very well. I'm not too sure if this is a real squad. Can you confirm that, or is that Elite Raiders outside? Have they said that?
I think what we're dealing with here is guards in one direction and a squad behind that door in the other direction. But I'm not sure, and I don't think this team really knows either. They just see all of the footsteps, all of the commotion, and hear those gunshots in basically every single direction. And this is getting bogged down in the bunker. This is the difficulty of Armory and why bunker is a risk, but this is the fastest way to extract from this map.
The thing is, I feel like if Lavinio actually ended up playing this game and put a lot of time in and understood how to play the game and started enjoying it, with this kind of movement, foundation, this is going to take him a very long way. This guy doesn't play the game often, and for him to move confidently like that, smoothly and efficiently, that could take him a very long time because there's not that many players that do what he does right there. So if he can get used to the tactics, to the actual TTK, to the actual, because sometimes the movement in Arena Breakout is slower. It's definitely slower than PUBG. So if he adapts to those, I think he could be a very, very good player in Arena Breakout as a whole.
I guess so.
Absolutely. I mean, he has tried and true mechanics here, and then he's got great players on the team, and you see all four of these players are working together seamlessly, constant communication the entire time. They've all actually got their text chat bubble right in the middle of the screen, just like you mentioned, and constant audio communication. And you see them, they've activated the extraction, 160 seconds for Team Noah until he's able to extract here. He's smiling on his stream. We can see him. To me, that means that Noah has the loot that he needs to have. If they have 150 seconds of safety here, but there's constant assault coming through. Noah getting shot in the arm there. He's on the extraction with a delay and under fire right now. And these extraction points in Armory force your team to bunch up. They're constantly giving you input, constantly throwing guards at you, and there's limited extraction. So you see other teams are able to extract here once it's activated as well. So the moment you go to activate the extraction, you send alarm bells to the entire map that lets them know where you are. This is the most hectic extraction in the game. Choco Taco outside has not entered the bunker yet, but he's getting closer here as we go, and he's constantly dealing with other players and guards as he moves across the map here. But yeah, that extraction ice, the bunker extraction at the bottom there is hectic every single time.
Yep, the thing is, what I worry for Levine, for Choco Taco and Clean is the extract mechanics. I don't think they understand, or I don't think they realize that there is a different mechanic to the extract for this game. So that's game breaking. I'm not gonna lie, that is game breaking. If they don't actually know how to extract from this map, that basically seals their runs in Armory. Now, you were talking about chaotic extraction in right here, the lifeboat extract. The first ever time we cleared Armory, the first ever time we hit the extract, cleared the bots. Oh, Choco Taco gets dropped. Unbelievable. He was looting right in the middle of a gunfight. One thing that you do not want to do, guys, is when you're not sure if the area is clear, you don't loot. It's just as simple as that. You just don't risk it. And I was saying here earlier, the first time we ever cleared Armory, 10 seconds left on the clock. Someone pops on that very same corner right there, threw a grenade, killed us all. Heartbreaking moment, dude. Absolutely heartbreaking moment.
One key mechanic here is you see that countdown timer. If Noah steps off of that area, and isn't back to spend at least 10 seconds in the extraction point, he is not able to extract. So he no longer can leave the extraction area, has to sit right there, and that is when he's most in danger, is in that last 10 seconds. Looks like Noah's able to extract. Let's see if he's got the loot. 9 minutes and 3 seconds, Noah. That's the time he needs to close the gap. If Livigno's unable to extract from Armory, does he have the loot?
Oh my lord! 482K, bro. Woo!
Noah with our first observed successful extraction that qualifies. Now remember, every team here, in order for the extraction time to qualify, they need to hit 300,000 coin in loot value in order to qualify that time. So Noah, with the first qualified time that we've seen so far, 9 minutes and 3 seconds, plenty of space on the loot with 486,000. That is what he needs. Now, Livigno, it's up to him now. He has to get a successful qualifying extraction in order to shut that down. That time is fast enough to close the gap.
Yep, absolutely, man. And this is the beauty of Armory. You know, you can have the first game of the day go really, really well, smoothly. Oh, this is easy. Wow, nice profits. And then your next 4 or 5 games is hell. So we're going to find out if that's going to be the case. Things are taking a little bit longer for Team Livigno, though. I'm not quite sure what's holding him back. I believe there is a real player squad right there, and Sade is trying to either pop them off or hold them back. But someone seems to be in the hole in the wall entrance, which is this entrance behind him, where the footsteps are behind Livigno right now. So I think
they've been stuck in the stairwell for a little while here.
Mm-hmm.
They've been stuck in the stairwell for a while. It looks like they've been here for 2 or 3 minutes. And after the time that Noah's team posted, they do not have that much time to chill out. But they have so many footsteps and gunshots around them right now that they don't want to risk that exposure. This is one of the few places in Armory where you can put your back up against a wall with 2 players and have it be really unlikely that you're surprised. But the disadvantage of that is that you do have limited visibility from those corner type positions, and they're going to have to move from this position. It looks like they likely have the other 2 members of their team moving to activate the extraction, and they're waiting on that. But once that extraction is activated, they're going to have to leave this position. And unless they address all of those footsteps, all of those other guards and potential players that are in the bunker, they may run into some serious traffic on the way to the extraction point.
But this is the thing with Armory, though. So if your team does have the skill to handle the bunker, getting into bunker is going to guarantee you 300K. There is just no doubt about that. Just by killing the bots, you'll probably be able to get 300K from their mags, bullets, and a couple of helmets, you know, because they're always wearing T3, some T4. If you can clear the bunker really quickly, you will get 300K. Pop the switch, get out, you can get it done. Exactly like how Team Noah did it. They cleared it really quickly, in and out, 9 minutes, 460 something K loot value. But it's a very, very risky strat going into bunker. It really is, because everyone goes there.
Yeah, we see Choco Taco. He is taking the tactic clearly of staying outside of bunker, but now he has moved all the way up. For the first time we've seen him come up to bunker. He's entering bunker, and if he has not spent time inside this bunker, he may be in for a surprise. We're going to see how he deals with the massive influx of pressure in the vicinity of this area of the map. You know what we have not also seen is we have not seen a lot of loot value or extraction opportunities for Clean either here. Clean is working again, I think, with a couple of randoms on his team as we see Choco Taco take down those guards. And he's moving slowly and deliberately here on Armory, which is the reason why he's staying alive. He's been on the map for quite some time, but as we've seen so far, all it might take is one successful extraction with that loot value to really be competitive.
Mm-hmm. Now, Noah has got a lot of work to do here to catch up, to seal it. Is that even going to be possible?
Well, here's the thing. The gap in the last game was down to 20 minutes and 31 seconds, right, for round 2. If Lavinho's unable to extract successfully, Noah's open up a wider gap with that 9 minute and 3 second extraction. So it could be possible we're down into the seconds when we start doing that math between those teams. So it really is down to Lavinho's game to lose here, as he is either able to or unable to get a successful extraction. I don't think the loot value is in question the way it was on Valley, like you mentioned, but you got to get to that extraction point, and it is a more complicated extraction process on this map. You have to activate it, then you have that long wait, that 3-minute wait at the extraction point with constant pressure. And so Choco Taco, seemingly playing a solo game, is going to have to do all of that maneuver himself to activate the extraction point and then fend off the entire attack that comes at that point of extraction. Whereas you see Noah's team clearly having a deliberate plan and able to get that extraction really quickly. So I think it's down to the wire. It's Lavinho's game to lose, but we cannot count these folks out, as they might be able to get that that last minute extraction, that last minute fast game. You know, these people all of these teams have an opportunity to get 2 or 3 iterations in that 30-minute time period.
And it doesn't even look like Choco Taco has a bag, to be honest. He might have forgotten to bring one. And you know what? This innocence, I guess, is I think is the best word for it. This innocence it's bliss. You look at him. He's not worried. He's not scared. But we all know what Armory is like. Once we actually understand what Armory is like, we get scared. As a new player, as an inexperienced player, as a player who struggles a lot in the game. And look at Choco Taco. He's just playing it like he's playing it in farm. Clean man, got stick. Yeah.
Choco Taco's got the mechanics. It might just work out for him, but Clean is taken down. As you say, Clean is, as he approaches Armory, it gets super difficult to manage that entry, especially if you're solo. You actually have to plan a breach to get into that bunker. You have to approach the door. In many cases, you want to throw 3 or 4 grenades before you enter some of these rooms, and we see that pressure. The moment Clean starts to approach that bunker, and it's similar spot to where Choco Taco is right now, he's going to struggle to break out of this room without grenades, without utility, given that he is there solo. This is a hot spot with a lot of pressure. Clean goes down as a result of it, and Choco Taco may be backed into a corner.
And not to mention this particular entrance here. So guys, Armory has 3 entrances. The one on his right now is called the hole in the wall. Where he is in right now is called the mid. And where on the right, on his left now, where the other entrance is called the tank entrance. Where he is right now is the hardest entrance, the hardest entry point to breach into when going into bunker. Because as soon as you go through those blast doors right there, he is going to be bombarded with a ton of bots. Whereas on the hole in the wall entrance or the tank entrance, you have a bit more space before the bots actually push you. Sometimes in the hole in the wall, though, the bots are already next to the blast door. But little does Choco Taco know, even if he does actually know how to open the door, when that blast door opens, he's just going to get snowballed by bots. And I don't think that's something that I want to see on stream right now. Or maybe it is.
Yeah. I mean, and here's the thing is Choco Taco and Clean both are extremely experienced battle royale and gamers in general, right? These guys understand mechanics, and that is what is carrying them, because Choco Taco, he's not having that much difficulty with dealing with the pressure. He's having difficulty with the details of navigating this complex map, but his mechanics and his skill are what are carrying him. He's solo in Armory. This is not something I do in this game, and he's able to move through this area right up in bunker, able to get this looting done under pressure pretty much constantly. And so it's great to see that these guys, you know, it's proof that the more reps you get in, almost no matter what the game is, as long, like, these games all have very similar mechanics when it comes to kind of feeling your way through pressure. But the problem is that this game, with its focus on ultra realism, forces you to go through those mechanics, and you can't just sort of wing it your way through. You have to pay attention to every one of those details. We see some of these players today have not realized that they've had a broken arm, right? They hit the first aid kit, but they don't know to use those bandages, because without those bandages, you continue to bleed. And so there's all of those detailed mechanics in a game like this where you have to pay attention to that too, as well as have great shooter, BR, extraction shooter game skill.
Yep. And this is why I said there's a lot of planning that you need to do. Even actually before getting into the game, or even before actually getting into the planning process, you need to know what you're preparing for. You need to know what the maps are going to be like, what weapons you're going to take, how much water you're going to bring with you. There's an enemy there. I think that's a real player. Oh, he's giving it a peek. Is he actually giving it a peek?
That is a wide peek. He sees him over the wall, but he's got iron sights here, so he's not going to have real precision.
Oh, he's getting gunned down. This is the real player. This is the real player right there.
3 or 4.
Unfortunately, he got caught. Yeah. Yep, Dios. I think I've faced this guy before. Actually, I'm not quite sure if he killed me or I killed him. But a lot of players literally will just stay outside and never go in the bunker, and then just take either the mid extract or the no backpack extract. A lot of players do that because, like I said earlier, guys, bunker is incredibly risky. Oh, there it is. This is a kill cam. This is a kill cam. Yep, unfortunate. But yeah, there's just a lot of factors that you need to consider when playing Arena Breakout. You know, so like I said, if I'm in farm, I'd probably just bring one bottle of water. One bottle of water is enough for farm, right? That's more than enough for farm. Literally. But when you go to places like Northridge, you're gonna want to take up, you know, a bottle of water and a couple of taurine drinks, or maybe Hoon Yangs. If I'm gonna go into Armory, I'd bring a couple of Hoon Yangs. Maybe if I'm playing solo, I'll bring an extra bottle of water as well, because whenever you heal a lot, guys, your hydration level also goes down unless you invest in the most expensive healing kits. So the best just a quick overview. The healing kits have hydration levels that have effects that affect your hydration level. So when you heal with a certain item, it can make you thirsty. But there are healing items, the most expensive ones, don't touch your hydration levels at all. So that's, again, another thing that you've got to think about. Okay, do I have enough money for the best healing items, or I don't need to really worry about the hydration? Or am I too broke? What's going to be the best one to take? What map am I going to go in? What am I going to be going to? Am I going to stay too long in the map? So this game,
3 minutes to extract.
You need to use your brains, guys. You really do.
And Lavinho is under a ton of pressure here. You see at the extraction point, they've activated it. They've met the requirements for extraction, but they're under a ton of pressure with about 2 minutes left. And Noah moving up towards the bunker, also under pressure. This may be a TAC Ops player that he's dealing with, but they're corner peeking, and he's using his teammates here. As you see, Noah has Godsley moving up in front of them, and they have to cover multiple angles. You see so many real-world special operations units who say 2 guns are 1. They will not round a corner. They will not breach a door and enter a building without at least 2 guns covering a corridor or a doorway or an avenue of approach. That is the absolute necessity. As you round corners, as you clear hallways and inner rooms in this game, you have to have 2 guns with coverage, similar angles, overlapping fields of fire, because everyone on this map, whether it's a guard that has absolutely crazy ammo and crazy gun skill, or it's a covert ops team, everyone's kitted up and the shots are deadly. And you see these teams that use those real world tactics effectively and use all of that game skill, that gun skill and experience with this sensitivity. That's where you see the success. And you really have to put all of that together. As you see Noah struggling to get some of those shots to hit, as those guards do not miss.
Yep, and the way that the bots work... Oh, is that a real player? Oh, I thought it was a real player. Okay, so the way that the bots are designed in this game, guys, they are designed to shoot your limbs first, so your legs and your arms. Those are the first things that they will try and lock onto. So you will find that in places like Armory, where the bots are elite and jacked up, your bones will break a lot. So surgery packs are something that you're going to need to bring. I bring a minimum of 8 surge packs in Armory, and that's me being a very experienced player in it. You probably even need like 12 minimum as a new player in Armory. He's very low. He's gonna get knocked. He's gonna get knocked. Don't
No,
jump.
under a
Don't
ton
jump.
of pressure.
Why no?
Yeah.
Oh no, Noah. Okay, so let's cover that first. So Noah's legs were broken right there, and then his body HP was very low. If your body HP is like 1 and both of your legs are broken, you jump. As soon as you land, you can die. You can literally get knocked, or you can die from fall damage. That's how, I guess, realistic the game is. The damage that you get from your legs will spread straight to your chest, and if your chest is already at 1 or 2 HP, you will kill yourself. The amount of times my legs get broken midair, dude, by another guy, and then I'll land and actually kill myself instead of them downing me is so funny, bro. Literally. But yeah, bots are designed to break limbs first. Unless your armor durability, your vest, is almost broken. Then they will prioritize your chest to kill you faster. Tip of the day.
Yeah, and you also see with Noah's legs blacked out and his torso low, the ammo that causes increased injuries is even more effective. So Noah, as he was moving up that stairwell, he eventually got to a point where he had cover and his torso wasn't exposed, but he was jumping around. He may have taken some fall damage to broken legs, or he may have continued to be shot in the legs, and that will absolutely finish you off. And so also with those broken legs and without painkillers in, you can't run. This is realistic in a way where those injuries affect your movement ability. And so if you're too exposed, it gets very difficult to just movement your way out of there. If you're one of those movement gods, those BR movement gods, some of that stuff doesn't work if you've got 2 broken legs, especially in those tight quarters, in those stairwells in Armory.
Yep, absolutely, man. And that was a funny moment to watch. I knew as soon as that is one of the biggest killers in Armory. But that's a real player. I think that's a real player.
He's got minimal cover here, and clean goes down. That looked like a headshot at the end, taken out instantly the moment he peeks from behind that tree.
Eternal love. Yep, there we go. Now, what was I saying before that? I cannot remember, dude. I cannot remember.
Here's what I'm waiting to see. We did not see the end of Livigno's game. Now, remember, he was under a ton of pressure. As we break away here, the last thing we were waiting to see is if Livigno died on the extraction point or if he was able to extract. Noah's 9-minute and 9-second time put him within range, and Livigno had to successfully extract from that situation in Armory where he's under pressure from multiple angles in order to potentially clutch this win. We're going to see the scores counted up here in a second, and we'll see the final times and whether or not he hit that minimum loot requirement. 300,000 coin. This is the last chance you have to put your Instagram handle in the chat and tell us who you think won. It's going to be between Livigno and Noah. Clearly, it seems that the mobile players, those who have that mobile experience, have carried the day, but we are down to the wire in the last couple of rounds of Armory to see who the final winners are today. And we will get a chance to interview our winner, ask about some of those tactics, ask about some of that preparation and how they planned for these missions, how they planned for that success.
That was very interesting. I mean, it looks like both of the teams, the top 2 teams, Livigno and Noah, kept the same strategy in terms of gameplay. So protect the parcel, basically. You know, the protectors of the front, the HVTs are at the back, and their job is to just stay alive, collect the loot, get out. So they kept that. They kept the same movement pattern. They must have kept the same communications level, and it just goes to show that experience is a massive factor in Arena Breakout. And I'm actually very surprised how fast Livigno managed to get warmed up in the game, because it looked like he was a natural player. You know what I mean? He was obviously not looking for gunfights. He was staying back, but that was his job. That was his role. But he didn't look lost at all. Neither did Noah, to be fair.
Everyone here had very minimal prep time because you know, this game launched early this morning. And granted, they had a little bit of account prep and a little bit of additional resources given to them to be prepared to take on all 3 of these maps, one after the other, multiple games, right? So they were given supplies to set them up for success, but absolute minimal warm-up and opportunity to navigate some of the challenges that these maps, especially Armory, presented. You see on the screen now one of the last sets of these codes for redemption. Get in the game, go to the events section in the game and redeem those codes. Give yourself a head start with some gear and some guns and try out Armory. If you've played Armory, let us know who has a successful extraction from Armory on launch day so far. Type it in the chat, let us know. And we see, look at that stat. Look at that time, Ice. Lavinia with 24 minutes and 4 seconds, not even close to Noah's ultra fast time of 9 minutes and 3 seconds on Armory. We're going to have to see the final math on these times because there's a big enough gap there that I'm not 100% sure who has won this game in the overall.
I cannot do math that quick. I cannot do math, period. So we're just gonna have to wait for the scoreboards to come in because
Lavinio's got it by 6.5 minutes. That's what I think. I'm trying to remember these times. I'm trying to do some quick math. I think he's got it by 5 or 6 minutes. We're gonna see. Here's our recap. Choco Taco in constant pressure. Everyone in constant pressure. This is his absolute play of the day. Able to have the patience. Patience is such an important quality there.
I love the fact that he switched from his high zoom scope into his 1x scope. That was some sort of experienced gameplay right there. You know, he switched immediately as soon as he saw the scope being too big. He switched for that second piece. Really, really good.
Oh, and you see the agony when you're trying to get the loot, you're trying to take advantage of the kill you just got, and then your screen just goes black. And then, as we said constantly throughout the games, that extraction point on Armory being under constant pressure, and these approach and breach points into the bunker constantly giving these players trouble as they try to approach and even get to the point where they can activate the extraction criteria on this map.
Yeah. That was always going to be the thing that was going to stop or hinder Choco Taco and Clean's progress, you know, throughout the event. The actual extraction system in Armory. In fact, the entry into the bunker is something that they had to deal with, but couldn't quite figure out. Even though there are messages in the middle when you go to the switch that says open it by tapping this. You don't really get to see that sometimes in a game, especially when you're new. This is the moment when Noah got down by the bot.
Broke my legs.
Oh my god, it broke my leg. Yeah, oh, that's what I was talking about earlier. Okay, so going down those stairs in Armory in the bunker is one of the most dangerous things you can do when there's a bot below it. You're better off just going to the other side and then going there when there's no bots down there, because trust me, they will lock onto your legs, and sometimes you forget to pop that painkiller and they'll break your legs on the spot, and you've got nowhere to run, which is pretty much what happened to Noah. So whenever you hear a bot underneath you on those stairs, when you flip the switch, or you just want to go down there in general in the bunker, don't. Literally don't.
The reason why Ice is coming at you with these tips is because this dude has reps on Armory. And I'm going to ask you an important question here in a second. But if you don't follow Ice's channel, that is where you learn all of these detailed tips in this game. He is going to get you up to speed and get you the skills you need and all of that attention to detail to be able to be successful. But for the people who are downloading this game today on launch day, I need you to give them like the top 3 to 5 tips for their first game on Armory. That's what we need to hear, is what are the couple of things that are going to make people successful hopping into their first Armory games today?
Okay, so like I said earlier, I say this every time someone asks me for tips. You will find yourself worrying about your gear a lot. It's not about the item, it's the player, right? If the player doesn't know the maps, this is gonna be like all the tips in one. So if the player doesn't have the foundations, the map knowledge, even knowing where the controls are, how to lean, how to ADS, how to crouch. If you don't have the basics down, it doesn't matter if you have the best gear in the game. If someone can position themselves better and you have no idea where you are, they see you first, you're dead in literally 1 second. So don't get too focused on, oh, I need the best gear. Oh, I need to get rich ASAP. Oh, I need to have the best guns. No, forget about those. Wear tier 3, level 3, and then just wear AK-74N that you get given at the start of the game, and learn the maps. Learn where the looting spots are, where you spawn, and also where you're gonna extract. So pay attention. I have a guide for this. Pay attention to where the extract points are and also where the spawn points are. Not just for you, but for the entire map. Because you can spawn in a specific location in the map and there's someone else spawning right next to you. If you don't know that they spawn right next to you, they can kill you so quick if they know where you spawn. So it's these basics that you need to understand before you start trying to think, oh, I need to get rich ASAP. I need to kill as many players as I can ASAP. How are you going to do those if you don't have the basics? Get the basics down first and then expand.
You heard it here first, and it's about those reps. Get those reps come first, get that experience, and then when you know enough to plan what you're going to do on the mission, then get your gear straight. And that's the way to be successful. And here, you see a bunch of these highlights, these awesome kind of live action highlights. We all went out and we got a chance to meet the lead game producer, the North American launch director, the social media team, and a bunch of the developers that are on the team. And we got a chance to talk to them in person. And at that event, they asked me, from my military experience, what's the most realistic thing I've experienced in this game? What kind of brings back those memories? And asking about recoil and gun selection. I said, absolutely not. The most realistic thing is the planning requirement and the risk assessment requirement, right? So the unique thing about this extraction shooter genre is that you lose all of your gear if you fail to extract from the map. And what that does is that cues a real need for risk assessment, right? You're trying to plan what are the risky areas of this map? Where are the guards absolute killers? Where are there going to be a high concentration of TAC Ops teams, those other players on the map? You have to assess that risk and plan for that risk, right? So that realistic planning factor, the gear prep, and then get those reps in, right? Get that experience on the map, learn the map, and learn where you got to go, learn how to activate those extraction points. But it's that detail required that has me addicted to this game. And then you add in all of the weapon selection, all of the ammo selection, and the availability to work that in-game economy and sell some of those items, those high demand items, so you always have your pick of the gear, of the weapons, of the ammo that you bring into these games.
Yep, absolutely. And yeah, the other thing that I'm gonna say, you will die a lot. You will absolutely die a lot in this game. Even when you get better, even when you become good, or even when you become great, you will still die a lot, but just less. So don't get disheartened when you die. In fact, when you die, it's actually a good moment to analyze it. How did that happen? How could I avoid that? How could I do that to someone else? You know what I mean? So yeah, we have now got the winners. Mud. Reel them in, baby.
Let's see if my math was right. Let's see if Lavinho was able to clutch it, if Noah's 9-minute time was good enough. This is a close one, and then we will have a chance to interview the winner. We've got a couple of these teams in our call here, and we're going to get a chance to interview the winner after we see these final scores.
I'm going to get ready for this.
Ice is putting on the helmet. Ice is putting on the victory helmet. It's time to see who's our victor today and what that final score was. And then I want everybody that watches this and gets in the game today, compare your extraction times and loot values to what some of these guys are able to pull off and the speed with which they were able to extract from the map after hitting some of these hot areas, because it is impressive to see those 9-minute extraction times with that, multiple hundreds of thousands of coin loot values. So we are going to cut here to the final scores and see who our winner is, and then get him in the call and get an interview and ask about those tactics. Levinho, look at that 6-minute margin. We have a winner.
Damn.
As many people in the chat predicted, Levinho with the win. And look at that loot value. That's the loot value from 3 games on 3 maps. He spent less than 15-minute average time in game and came out with nearly an average of 400,000 coin per game. Now, as you get your reps in and look at your loot values and your times, you will understand how impressive that is. And then we see Noah's time, 48 minutes, averaging 16 minutes per game and able to get out nearly 800,000 coin. And then a couple of successful extractions from Choco Taco and Clean, able to put some times on the board, but not enough to get that time score to count, not enough to meet the minimum coin requirements. Ice, how impressive is the Levinho time and coin amount?
That's actually really good. Like 1.2 million in that's insane. That's really good. I wish I could produce that kind of money consistently. I'm actually very, very impressed. I can't wait to start asking him questions. When's that gonna happen?
Yeah, we're gonna get him into the call here in just a second, and I want to know what the prep was and what the plan was, what the tactics were. He's getting ready and he's got some explaining to do, because we got to see how it's possible to get 1.2 million coin in 42 minutes and 18 seconds. And remember, everyone, we have 2 more of these events coming. We have different creators and professional players that are going to be playing, and iStream gets the benefit of seeing some of these tactics already because he will be playing in our final week. So we have 3 weeks of competition here, same format as we go through. I'll be here with you for all of them, and we're going to see a few of the big names and competitors in the mobile space, in the extraction shooter space, the BR space, come through this game. And I think Levinho, with 42 minutes and 18 seconds and a 1.195 million coin extraction amount, is absolutely the time and score to beat.
But to be fair, you know, we've got to hand it to Choco Taco and Clean as well. This is not their platform. This is not their game either. So these are streamers from the PC community hopping onto Arena Breakout to play a mobile game. Guys, they gave it their best. I hope you guys were entertained by the performance that they gave. I hope they had fun as well. It's, you know, it's amazing to see both PC and mobile community coming together, you know, for a big event like this, for an amazing game. So yeah, without further ado, guys,
I love to see some of those mechanics.
On, baby.
Let's go. Love to see the PC players' mechanics, but we are here to talk to the winner. Levinho, we have some questions. You were able to produce a 1.195 million coin extraction amount in 42 minutes and 18 seconds. What was your prep like with your team? And then can you talk us through what your plan was on that first farm extraction?
Hello. Hello. Do you hear?
Hey, we can hear you.
How are you. Hi guys. Hi. I'm
hey,
really
good.
happy
Congrats on the win, man. Talk us through that plan.
Thank
what
you.
you did to prep for that game, and what your extraction plan was for that first farm game.
Our plan was to directly go to the what is called the valley, I think. So first of all, I have to give credits to my teammates. They were really, really good. So I was just good teamwork and just this.
Yeah, so we saw that fast move towards the built-up area, and those teammates of yours, everybody's recognizing those names. But yeah, how did you make the transition to Armory? Did you feel the pressure of the crazy guards and the other teams on the Armory map there?
So sorry, I didn't hear. Sorry.
What was the experience like on Armory with the serious, crazy competition on that map?
Hello, can you hear us? I think we're having a bit of technical difficulties, chat. This is what happens This is what happens as as streamers, as casters. We have technical difficulties that we have to deal with on the spot. You think this is easy? But no, we're gonna get him back on. We're gonna get him back on as fast as we can. I think he might have disconnected or something, but yeah, we're gonna get him as back as we can. But we are gonna ask him questions like, guys, you know what? Drop some questions that you wanna ask Lavinio, the winning team. Ask some questions, and then maybe we'll squeeze one question or a couple of questions from the chat to Lavinio. Let's see it, chat.
Yeah, and you notice the first thing he says is, I got to give credit to my teammates. We talked about that quite a bit, about factors for success here on them, and every one of those maps has unique areas that have high loot, and every one of those maps has unique challenges. And so Lavinio's tactic of, frankly, recruiting people with experience on that map and in this game, able to help guide him. And you saw one of those things that was constant throughout the game was that high level of communication. So we're going to see if we can get back in with Lavinio here, get him back into the call, and see if he's got anything else to say about how Armory felt and what his tactics plan was.
Are you back on, Lavinio? I think we're having a bit of what's the word, bandwidth problem that you said earlier. I don't really know how that works. How does that work?
Yeah, we may or may not be able to get him into the call. We're going to try and see if we can ask some questions and see if we've got some questions in the chat, and get an opportunity to talk to him if we're able to. And then if not, we also have some additional codes that will be given away at the end of the stream. We're going to see if Lavinio's available. Can you hear us? We'll give him just a minute here to see if he's able to get into the interview. If not, we apologize. These are people that are playing and joining us in these games from all over the world. We have a global production team and a global game development team that's involved in this, and they've put all of this together for us. And so we're working through the communication issues as we talk all the way across to everyone in their respective places playing the game here. All right, so we're going to get into, we've got a couple of things left here, and we've got some additional codes to give away. So we've got a lucky draw spin. What we've done is taken all of those Instagram handles from the chat. That's why we were asking for them. We've got them on our wheel here, and we are going to spin for some final codes. You'll get these codes in your DMs. All right, Ice, I'm going to ask you for the countdown each time. Give us a 3, 2, 1, and then we're going to spin. And we've got all of these Instagram handles here. We're going to see who wins these codes, give them a head start. Maybe they can get into Armory and see if they can have the same success they saw today.
All right, let's kick it. 3, 2, 1, go.
Love that voice-activated wheel.
All right, we have our winner, Johan Cristiano. Johan Cristiano. That's the one. You go.
We gave it a best shot. All right, we have 4 more spins.
3, 2, 1, spin.
With the sound effect.
We have
Potato
Gaming 89. Let's go. I think this is one of my viewers. I'm pretty sure he comes to my streams every now and again. Congrats, bro. Let's go. I don't think he's here now, though. All right, let's go again. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, I forgot the sound effect. All right, who do we have here? Want to call him out?
Runope. Who knows? I'm going with my first pronunciation, though. That's our 3rd winner, and we have a couple more spins here.
Let's go. 3, 2, 1, spin it. Who are we gonna have here, chat? And we have Cinta Amalia. GG's, GG's, GG's. And the last one. This is the last one, right?
Yep, this should be our 5th winner. Let's see who it is.
3, 2, 1, spin it. Oh. Okay, I'll let you read that one.
Satrts Ryan. I'm going to go with first name Ryan. I've seen him on the stream, on the cast for the entire time. A worthy winner.
Let's go.
All right, that was an exciting event, man. We saw some crazy games, and Levinho with wild success. His ability to extract quickly, stack up the loot. I'm excited to see. We've got some pro mobile gamers coming at us in the next event, and then we've got the founders on the final one. And the great thing about this founders, you're playing it. These are all people who played the closed beta. As we move towards the end of these events, the next 2 iterations, these are folks that have played the closed beta, know the most about these maps. One thing I definitely want to say is that we had Choco Taco and Clean come on this stream, cross-platform, pick up the cell phone and get into these games. And we saw the experience and the skill of that PC gaming and those mechanics, their ability to handle these gunfights with so little prep. And it's awesome to see every time we get to see the PC and mobile gaming community come together. I'm a fan of it. I love to see these games that do these co-located events, and I love to see those crossover events. So it's awesome to have those dudes on the stream. Absolute legends, and huge congratulations to Levinho, and great job to Noah getting 3 extractions successfly with big loot value.
Yes, sir. All right, so we're gonna wrap up. So like we said, next Friday, so it's the next 2 events are both on Fridays, I believe, or Friday and a Saturday, something like that. Next week is gonna be pro players, and then the 3rd week is gonna be the closing week, which is the founders week. So these guys are gonna have their own teams, like you saw today. I'm definitely gonna have my own team, or shall I go solo? Who knows? Depends on my mood, but I unfortunately we couldn't quite get the interview sorted. I was gonna try and take some notes and take a pinch of salt and then
work on your game, get those tactics down. Yeah, so for the details, just a quick reminder, our next event is the 22nd of July, right? So same place, coming at you on the 22nd of July, and then week 3 Founders Night is the 29th of July. So those are our next 2 events. Join us, tell your friends, get in the game and get those reps in so you can talk a little trash if you see some creators or pros who just don't step up to the plate, and you'll get a chance to root on your favorites, give Ice Stream a little bit of hype before the Founders Week 3. And thanks for watching, everyone. Ice, always a pleasure, my friend. This has been a heck of an event.
Bro. Likewise. Make sure you guys follow and subscribe to Mod6's channels and the whole shebang. And we'll catch you guys in the next stream. Peace.